All right, guys, welcome in. It's been a longer break than we normally have, and it was unexpected and unplanned. I was not intending to take the day off Thursday, nor was I intending to cancel the member show Friday, but and I didn't know that I'd be back today. I got back. My flight was actually delayed two different times today, and I got back quite a bit later than I intended to. But I was back in time to say hello to the family, get a bite to eat, get a little rest, and come live. And I wanted to come live tonight because I didn't want um I didn't want to carry, I think, the heaviness over to tomorrow. So for those that don't know, the reason I was not here Thursday and the reason I had to cancel the Friday show is a very dear friend of mine and Mrs. Coleman, a one of the finest human beings I've ever met in my life, um, was diagnosed, I guess, a little over a year, maybe ago, with cancer. It's his third battle with cancer, just 41 years old. We met him several years ago, and he has become such an integral part of the community around here where we live. And he is not doing well at all. He had exhausted all of his treatment options here in Middle Tennessee. And so a few weeks ago, he and the family, I guess, I hate to call it this, it's a Hail Mary pass, right? You throw a Hail Mary pass sometimes with your health, and they struck out to Scottsdale, Arizona, to a clinic out there that might have been able to work some kind of a miracle, and that's where he's been ever since. And he flew out there with the family, and as happens, it is disruptive to the family. Obviously, it's a family life. He has four children, a 3-year-old, a 1-year-old, I think like maybe a 5 or 7-year-old, and then a 13-year-old, a boy who just turned 13. And so he went out there a few weeks ago, and he was just never healthy enough to get started. In and out of the hospital several times, and so middle of the week last week, they out of options. They put him in hospice care, palliative care, try to make him comfortable, and several of the men from the church decided we'd head out there, and we flew out early Friday morning, and flew back. A few of them flew back yesterday, and the rest flew back today. And obviously, he's not doing well at all. But he's a saint, man. He's a trooper. We were talking, some of the guys at dinner the other night, and said, I've never heard anyone say a bad word about him. And I think the true mark of his character is I've never heard him say a bad word about anyone else either. And we're talking about people who spent a long time with him. And I've never heard anyone say a bad word about him. Never heard him be negative, raise his voice, get angry. Sure, it's happened. We're all human, but I've never heard it. I've never seen it. And his poor wife is just a saint in her own right. I mean, it's hard to explain. I don't want to get emotional. I'm a bad public crier, and I've cried a lot the last few days. But we got to see him Friday night when we got in. Well, actually, Saturday. They saw him Friday night. I saw him Saturday morning, Saturday evening. Actually, no, I saw him Friday night too. Yeah, so I saw him 3 times the last couple of days. And he's just not doing well. And I think everyone has sort of accepted the inevitable, and it's just hard. I had a lot of I've had a lot of thoughts about his family in the wake of that. I mean, they're going to need a lot of help. He is not a multi-millionaire by any stretch of the imagination, unlike some other widows we know. And so we spent some time talking about that and what that means. But in watching sort of the brokenness of everyone in the family and the friends that were there, caused me to do a lot of reflecting about what we've covered on this program for the last, gosh, I don't know, 9 months plus now. And I just, I don't know. I didn't want to say I got angry, but I got sad, I guess. And so I started watching old speeches from the last 9 months or so, different people's speeches. Watched some of the memorial speeches while I was on the plane. Watched some of the speeches that different TPUSA figures have given, and just tried to get an idea for like how has the case sort of developed? How has everything sort of happened? How have they been the last 9, 10 months? One of the advantages of being out there is I got to do a lot of driving around during downtimes. So I got to drive by the Turning Point headquarters. I got to drive by, different. I don't want to say where all I went, but I got to drive by different places and really put sort of an image of the lay of the land with with the story I've been covering. It made it a little more real in a way. For example, I don't think I knew this. We've talked a lot about Clock Tower LLC, Clock Tower X LLC. I did not know that when you turn onto Beverly Lane to go to TPUSA, where their headquarters is, you enter the Clock Tower corporate park. The Clock Tower, that's the name of the little corporate park right there, Clock Tower. And I thought about that. I thought, well, surely not. Like, surely it's not that obvious. It's not, they wouldn't possibly name this LLC that they're routing tens of millions of dollars from our greatest ally through an LLC. Because what does Clock Tower mean? Like, why Clock Tower LLC? What does that mean? So anyway, I'll wrap up my thoughts on my friend. I don't want to break his anonymity. I don't know that his family wants me to break anonymity this publicly. Or I would share more. But I don't want to do that because they are very private people. And I don't I don't know how many people end up watching these shows across all the platforms, but several 100,000. I don't know that they, upwards of 1 million, some shows. I don't know that they want that many people watching, knowing about their lives and their names and all that. But I will say this: pray for the repose. Well, he's still with us. Pray for my friend's soul. Pray for his body. Pray for his glorified body. And that's one of the things his wife said is, one day he will have a glorified body. And this body that has failed him so gravely in this life, he'll get a body that will never fail him. And it was a beautiful moment hearing her say that. But I don't want to say too much more because I don't want to say more than they would be comfortable with me saying, because they have been very private about this up to this point. Anyway, so let me say this. As I was driving around, as I was looking at the terrain, I was in Scottsdale for those that are tuning in late for the last 3 days. As I was driving around and reviewing the terrain, I noticed I turned into Clock Tower Park as I was going into the TPUSA headquarters right there. I thought that's a weird coincidence. I mean, Clock Tower X, Clock Tower LLC, Clock Tower Corporate Park, maybe not related at all. We know Clock Tower LLC, I think, is Brad Parskill's LLC. He's the guy who was in charge of the Trump campaign when $170 million kind of got laundered through different organizations. But that's a different guy. It's a different time. May have nothing to do with it, but it was a weird coincidence. Something I would not have noticed had I not been on the ground, because how else would you know? Like, and I guess you could get on Street View and drive all up and down the streets. I'm not crazy. I haven't done that. I haven't done that on their headquarters. But it's just things like that. Little things like that I've noticed. I also had the opportunity and it was a spiritual moment. I went to Mass at St. Bernadette Saturday night. Father Don Klein was the priest at St. Bernadette. He was, it was a very, very beautiful service, a very beautiful Mass. The building is phenomenal. I mean, it's not a European cathedral, okay? It's not a European cathedral, but it is one beautiful building. I mean, for a church building built in America in the last even 50 years, it's remarkable. If you are ever in that area and just want to see a modern but beautiful church building, that's one to go to. Every single piece of artwork has meaning. Everything in the church has meaning. It's golly, it's just gorgeous. They've got like anyway. I don't want to overdo it. I don't want to oversell it because you'll walk in and be like, "What is this dump?" But it was gorgeous. It truly, truly was gorgeous. So I had an opportunity to go there, and it was a kind of a spiritual moment because I have talked to parishioners, not this weekend, but in the past, I've talked to parishioners at St. Bernadette, and they told me how many times they saw Charlie Kirk in there, and how many times they saw Erika in there, and how, and and I thought, okay, well, these are the pews he sat in, right? I mean, that's part of the thing of going somewhere where you're covering a story. You're actually on the ground and you can kind of visualize. They said I don't tell you where, told me where he kind of sat in there. So I kind of walked over there and stood in that area and looked around a little bit. Like this would have been the view he had. I will say this. We like to make fun of the architectural argument where we say, oh, we just like the architecture. That's the kind of church where you might just like the architecture. It's beautiful. I mean, a truly, truly beautiful parish. They've done a spectacular job out there. Father Don Klein, he celebrated a beautiful, beautiful mass, beautiful singing, beautiful music. The parishioners were all warm and welcoming. It was really, really top notch. But yeah, just drive around town, just see the sights, figure out how far it is between, for example, where Charlie lived and where the TPUSA was, and how far it was from the airport to where he lived, and just mark out different territories, just kind of get an idea of the lay of the land out there. So I did get to explore quite a bit. And while I was out there, and it was hugely beneficial to my ability to cover this story, I think from a totally different mindset. One is I'd never spent much time in Phoenix. It's gorgeous. I always jokingly call it a kitty litter box. It is. Everything's dead and brown. Don't get me wrong, but it's a pretty kitty litter box. Beautiful hills and mountain scenes. I didn't know that. I was just viewed it as flat. It's not. It's not flat at all. Okay, but here's what I want to do. I think I watched Candace's show Friday, but I didn't watch it until this weekend. I watched it yesterday evening. I think, and I'm not saying this lightly. I think in the last 9 months, this was the most consequential show Candace Owens has had. And I say it for two reasons, but just bear with me for just a second. I think it was the most consequential show, most important show. From an entertainment perspective, I was highly entertained, but I'm talking about from a meat and bones. And there's two things in the show I want to talk about in particular that make it so consequential to me. Number one, it sounds like Candace is about to start talking about Butler. And I have an idea of what she's going to say about it. And you guys have been, I don't want to say pestering, but urging me to discuss Butler for the last 6 months or so, and I have refused. I've said I'm not going to talk about it. I don't want to get into it. I covered it a little bit. I investigated a little bit. What I found out kind of weirded me out a little bit, scared me. And so I decided I was going to close the book, put it away, stop investigating, and not cover it. I will say this. I believe what she will cover about it is consistent with what I knew or what I discovered or what I learned while I was investigating. I think this is going to be a very interesting discussion if she moves into this discussion. If she intends to cover this, I think it's going to be very, very consistent with the things that I learned while I was investigating it that caused me to close the book and move on. That's not how Candace plays ball. She doesn't close the book and move on. She doesn't close the book and move on. She runs headfirst into the wind. And so I think from that perspective, number one, I think it's one of the more consequential things she's going to cover. Now, if I'm right, based on reading between the lines here of what she said this week, knowing the things she knows, based on what she said, I think what she's going to cover is very consistent with what I learned. And if so, I'll be happy to fill in any of the gaps that I learned that she doesn't talk about. Or I'll be happy to say, here's what she said that I didn't know. Here's what I already knew. But I think it's very consistent, which leads me to believe that what I learned was probably right because our sources are very different. I heard from one group of people. I think she's hearing from another, and the story is remarkably similar. And so I think there's merit to it. That's number one. Number two, I'm going to play this part in just a minute because this is where I want to begin tonight and jump off on the content portion of tonight. Candace had a weird story she relayed Friday that I'd never heard. I knew nothing about it, and I was frankly shocked when she said it Friday. Well, I didn't watch it till Saturday, but she said it Friday, and it was shocking, stunning. And it was stunning, particularly in light of the research I was kind of doing in my downtime while I was driving around looking at things, while I was, in my hotel room. I was listening to speeches, primarily primary source material, not really podcast about speeches as much as just speeches. I listened to probably 12, 15 hours of speeches this weekend that TPUSA people have given, 10, 15, 20-minute speeches, and there were like 50 of them, maybe 100. I mean, I don't know how many. I listened to a lot. I listened to a whole lot of them. I'm going to play a piece of what she said. I'll do it now. No reason to drag it out. I'm going to play a piece of what she said because I think it has uncovered something in this investigation that has been lying dormant this entire time, and that had we known this from the beginning, I'm not saying it would have changed the course of the investigation, but I think it would have illuminated it from a different angle. So let me play this real quick, and then I want to talk about it because I hope she adds a little more color and clarity as we go forward over the next, few days, few weeks, few months. But I want you to listen to what she says right here. To me, it is the single most consequential thing that has happened in the TPUSA investigation in 9 months and 4 days.
July 20th-ish, Charlie vacationed in Maine for a couple of weeks. Okay, so let's just say from July 20th to July 30th. He went off radar. And this is when Mikey McCoy and Elizabeth McCoy joined them for the first time on vacation. And they capture all these images that we're then going to see as soon as Charlie's assassinated, these images of him walking with Erika, just kind of, oh, this is a happy couple. And then right after, in the midst of this, the same 2 weeks, Y-Refi comes in as the #1 sponsor for Charlie Kirk's fall tour. This is a total Israel-coded company. It was weird because they had already signed a contract from January through December for all their events, but now they doubled down. What catalyzed that sudden addendum to their contract? Yes, we want more. We're going to come in for this speaking tour that you're now going to do. And the first one's going to be at UVU, and me, the CEO, is going to travel with you at this event. Okay, that seems a bit weird. And then it dawned on me, I totally forgot something. Okay. And I'm just going to have to ask Tucker for forgiveness for.
I'm serious. I needed to play the background to get into what she's about to say, because you have to understand this takes place in the context of a vacation that Charlie and Erika took to Maine, or to wherever Tucker was at the time. I think Maine. Took to Maine to be with Tucker. And then Candace comes in over the top and does a podcast with Tucker. And Tucker and Candace have a side conversation in the context of that podcast, either before or after the podcast. And that, what she's about to discuss, I think, is the single most consequential thing that's happened in this investigation. And I don't even know that, I'm sure she does. She's very brilliant. But she didn't say it on the show Friday. I don't think she conveyed Friday just how important this was. I was expecting, when I got back to my house and opened my computer for the first time in several days, that I would see wall-to-wall headlines about this. I saw almost nothing about this. And when I play this, I'm going to tell you why I think it's so consequential in just a second.
Sharing this because I knew that there was something bothering me about this Maine vacation. I had a baby, and I think I blacked out after Charlie's assassination and didn't remember that I went up to Maine too. I went up to Maine with my husband in July. Okay. My son was born on May 1st. We were off air. And then the first thing I did was I went with my newborn, Roman, and my husband up to Maine to do Tucker's show. And I did an interview, and I genuinely forgot about this. I genuinely forgot about this. And we went in on the topic of Israel. I'm just going to show you a little 10-second clip here so you can get an idea of what I'm talking about.
Since the 80s, Jeffrey Epstein has been working for Israel. I don't know how I know that, and Trump and Pam Bondi don't, but they got to bring me in. I might have some evidence here, right? It's like,
I'm going to skip forward to this part because it's interesting, but it's not entirely critical to the story she's about to tell here. So let me just fast forward to this part.
The starvation campaign. I don't care.
I promise you, I forgot that. I forgot that I had this. I forgot that I went up to Maine until I was looking at this Erika speech. And I was like, I know what is bothering me about this speech. What's bothering me about the speech is that when I got off air with Tucker, obviously you just have chatter, like just chatter in the air, like about everything you just discussed and what's happening and everything we said there. We're talking about Epstein. And Tucker said to me, and I'm obviously, I'm not going to get this verbatim, but he was like, yeah, he talks about his SAS speech. And he just said, they're like, taking money from Charlie because of this whole speech. And I was like, yeah, Charlie's kind of coming over to our side. He's really had an awakening about this. It's crazy that I forgot this, but it's the second part of what he said to me. He said, I just had dinner with him and Erika. They were just here. I think he said like last night. I kid you not. They were just there in Maine having dinner with Tucker. I remember this. I am 1000% certain. Days within me, it was like Charlie was there and then I was there. And he had dinner with Erika and he said something, which is the reason why I was happy when they announced that Erika was going to be CEO, because before we could have ever known that Charlie was going to be assassinated, as we were sitting here in Maine talking about Israel and Epstein and what the pressure that Charlie was under, Tucker was like, I absolutely love Erika. He said this publicly 1,000 times, so I'm not revealing anything here. And he was like, she is like hardcore on the anti-Israel train. And that she had gone in on dinner about everything. And that, this is who Erika was. And I was like, oh, wow. Like I actually never got to spend that kind of time with her. Like I know Charlie's coming to the other side, but I never really speak to Erika like that. And they had this dinner in the midst of all of this SAS stuff. And I happened to be in Maine. And when I look at that and I plot that on the timeline.
So let me do two things here real quick. One is, you guys are going to have to bear with me for like 20 seconds. I have to switch my internet source. And it's gonna make it feel like the show crashed for a second. It's not crashing. I'll be back in like 20 seconds. But I see it blinking out of the corner of my eye, and so it's gonna be devastating. I had it set to a different source because I thought I was gonna take it with me traveling, and then I didn't. So let me click it over real fast. And I don't know if I'm still here or not. I will wait for someone in the chat to tell me I'm still here. And then I will pick back up. Still here. Okay, good. Okay, still here. So here is what shocked me about this. What do we know about what's happened with Erika or with TPUSA since Charlie passed? It has taken a hardcore pro-Israeli turn. Charlie, the reason I think a lot of people on sort of my side of the aisle, I guess I would call it, or maybe Candace's side of the aisle, a lot of people were suspect of TPUSA for a while in Charlie is because he took this organization that was founded in 2012 as a hardcore economic libertine organization, and he took a massive turn. And all of a sudden, the only thing he could focus on was being pro-Israeli, like every context of everything they did. This started in about 2019 or 2020, about the time Erika showed up. And so in my mind, I've sort of always chalked it up that it was Erika who caused it to take that turn. It was Erika who caused it to become a hardcore right, a hardcore, what's the word? A hardcore pro greatest ally organization. Because that's the time TPUSA Faith started. That's the time Rob McCoy shows up. That's the time Pastor James Caddish shows up. That's the time all these people show up who are just the most rabid pro-Zionist people, period. And it looked like TPUSA had sort of been taken over from Charlie. It had gone from an economic libertarian organization, and all of a sudden it had become just another pro-Israel organization. That's all it was. And yeah, my wife is saying it's still doing that. Said that thing. Whatever. We'll take a break. We'll not take a break. We'll just keep going as if it's not doing anything wrong and fill in the gaps if we have to later. And so I sat here and I thought it had to be her. Like she had to be the infiltration point. And then I heard this speech she gave, and I thought, or I heard this explanation Candace just gave of this dinner, and I thought, have I been reading this wrong the whole time? So that's why, I sort of went back and watched all these speeches. That's why I went back and I watched all these speeches and I thought, what was going on at TPUSA? And it dawned on me what I think is going on. But before I tell you what I think was going on, I do want to go through sort of a timeline of some of the speeches, that I watched this weekend, because I feel like I can see a development. I feel like I can see a development of what happened over time. And then I'll give you my conclusion after we watch a few of them. The first speech is the one that is the hardest for me to watch. I'm not going to sit here and play the whole thing, but I do want to play a couple clips out of it. It is this one. You guys remember this speech, right? I want to play the first minute or so of this because, to begin with, Jesse on Fire is going to love this if he catches any wind of me doing this speech, because she says a few things in the first minute that really were bizarre. Really, really, really were bizarre.
Jesus. Good evening. My name is Erika Kirk. Charlie Kirk is my husband.
Charlie Kirk is my husband. Now, I will say this. I will just submit to you. This speech is what, 16 minutes long, give or take? 15, 16, 18 minutes long? Routinely, throughout this speech, she talks about Charlie as if he's still alive. And I don't think it was normal. It did not strike me as normal. At the time, it went without me noticing. I'm not coming over to the Jesse on Fire theory that Charlie's still alive. I'm not on Team Bloodbag or any of that kind of stuff. But I will say I had to stop and think, what is she talking about? Because she keeps this going. Charlie is here with us. Charlie is my husband. He's still here. He still has these plans. And I thought, this is a really bizarre, really, really weird way to cover this. Just listen to the first minute or so. I'm not going to play the whole speech.
I first want to thank the local, state, and federal law enforcement who worked tirelessly to capture my husband's assassin.
Singular. Husband's assassin, singular. Keep that in mind in just a second, because you're going to change your mind. Worked tirelessly to capture my husband's assassin. So we now know, just in case we can't remember when this was the night after it was announced he had turned himself in. This was, I think, September 12th. He had turned himself in the night of the 11th. There's some debate about whether he was read his Miranda rights on the 11th or 12th, but this speech was the evening, as you can see there in the lower right-hand corner, 8:24 p.m. Eastern time, 7:24 p.m. God's time. I guess that'd be 6:25 or so Mountain time. I mean, maybe if the Fed slappers are right, he's being Mirandized about this exact same time. But just listen to how she transitions from my husband's assassin, singular, to discussing the team of people who took him out,
so that he can be brought to justice. I want to thank the first responders who struggled heroically to save Charles's life.
Who's Charles? Who's Charles? And I'm not making fun of her. I know this is 2 days after her husband passed away. Who is Charles? I've never heard the man referred to as Charles. And nor does she ever refer to him as Charles again in the rest of the speech. In fact, I don't think she even refers to him as Charlie again. It was almost as if this was, I don't want to say written by AI or whatever, but I've never heard anybody refer to him as Charles. And again, I've only listened to the speech one time, and we didn't even finish the whole speech. It was a member show several months ago. We thought as members of the grand jury, we got together and said, what should we watch? We're going to watch this today. And we talked about it. We tried to get through it, and everybody was like, turn it off. I can't watch it. So we stopped watching it halfway through. But I didn't even remember it then. I sure didn't remember it 2 days after. Who is Charles? Why is she calling him Charles? It's like she didn't even know who he was. It was weird.
And the police who acted bravely to make sure that there were no other victims on that terrible afternoon.
That's the line I can't get over. That's a line I can't get over. What did the police do to ensure there were no other victims? The official Fed slap narrative is that Tyler Robinson was on the Losi Center roof, took a single shot, and within 3 seconds was already in a dead sprint across the Losi Center roof, scaled down the other side of the Losi Center like Spider-Man, hanging on at one point with just his fingertips swinging from the ledge, looked very Peter Parker-ish, jumped to the ground from about 15 feet in the air, landed in a very athletic position, sprinted away, carrying a gun in one hand, a bag in the other, and fled into a little wooded area, maybe a quarter acre or so of trees, where he dumped the rifle next to a chicken coop and then took off walking behind some houses and then ended up in his car driving away. So what did the police do to ensure there were no other victims on that terrible afternoon? I can only think of one thing. Just like the Charles thing, it almost reads like someone else wrote this and that there was supposed to be some other thing that happened that didn't happen. There was supposed to be something else that happened that was supposed to happen that didn't happen, i.e., a shootout where Tyler dies. That's what it seems like to me. Like, I can't think of a reason why you'd be thanking the police that there were no other victims. The guy took one shot, allegedly took one shot, hid the gun, ran off, and turned himself in the next day. So what did the police do other than sit there and wait for him to turn himself in? They literally did nothing else. I mean, they started the process of paving over the crime scene. They managed to not find the gun for several hours until the FBI showed up. What did they do? They didn't track him down at the Quick Quack. They didn't track him down at the shopping center where he showed up. They didn't track him down as he was leaving campus. So what did the police do to ensure there were no other victims that terrible afternoon? Sounds like Tyler is the one she should be thanking, that there were no other victims that terrible afternoon. Allegedly, he was on top of the Losi Center roof with at least 3 other rounds. He could have taken out 2 or 3 other people, and he didn't. I see people mentioning the first responders. Charlie didn't even see any first responders. There were 2 people with paramedic bags rushing up to him, and his security staff shoved him in the SUV like a side of beef. They didn't even wait to let those people in. They didn't even take their medical bag. They didn't let one of them get in the car. Instead, they got a 60-year-old apologist named Frank Turek in the car doing CPR on a man with a broken neck. So I'm what are we like 30 seconds into this thing? 53 seconds in. She didn't start talking until 8 seconds. So 45 seconds in, and I already see like 4 weird things that I did not catch the day of because we had no context for any of this stuff. We had no idea what was going on at the time. She could have said anything. She could have thanked the guys in astronaut suits for rappelling out of the trees, and we'd have been like, well, I guess there were guys in astronaut suits rappelling out of the trees. We don't know. Like, this is so bizarre, and I'm less than a minute in.
I want to thank the officers who have protected our Turning Point USA family these past 2 days.
Except Charlie. They didn't protect Charlie. Like, I'm not making light of this here. But the officers that protected the Turning Point family, like the main guy who founded Turning Point, the only person at Turning Point anyone even knew who he was not protected. He did not survive. So I don't know what these officers did.
And I want to thank the Turning Point USA board, the COO, Justin Strife, and my husband's chief of staff, the amazing Mikey McCoy, for all their work in these terrible days to be the stability for our family and for the wider Turning Point USA family as well.
Kind of a weird thing, honestly. I'm being totally honest. If my spouse is gunned down in broad daylight at 12 o'clock on a Wednesday, you're probably not going to catch me on TV Friday night thanking people for making sure her business is still running. Like, that's very low on my priority list. Very low on my priority list. I honestly probably would say just turn the shut the building down. We'll come back in a month. I don't. Let's just bury my spouse, please, and then we'll talk about business, please. Can we get to that? But the Justin Strife call out, the amazing Mikey McCoy call out. I'll be honest, boys, looking back, I didn't catch this at the time, but looking back, I got to ask, what did you know and when did you know it? Why are you being singled out by name? It makes it sound like you were part of the plotting and scheming. I'm not saying that's what happened. I'm just saying it's kind of what it seems like in this moment.
My heart is with every one of my husband's employees who lost a friend.
Who is your husband? Are you talking about Charles? Charles? You're with Charles's employees? Because I think we've gone from Charles to my husband, and I don't think we ever go back to Charlie. I don't think we ever do Charlie this whole time.
And a mentor. I want to thank the staffers of his amazing Charlie Kirk show.
Oh, there we got Charlie, but it's because of the show.
Who helped him broadcast from this studio, this chair. Every day he loved it. He loved what he did.
Remember when I had a thing about the necklace the other day and I said, what is it about the necklace? Why are they wanting us to not worry about the necklace? Why are they shoving the necklace in our face? That tinkling you hear in the background, I don't know if you can see it if you were looking on the phone or whatever. Her left hand has the necklace in it for some reason. And that we don't know. She doesn't mention the necklace, I don't believe. She doesn't talk about it. She doesn't, but she's holding the necklace. And as she does the dramatic pivot towards the chair, whispering, looking up at the sky, it's tinkling. Tick, 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 tick. You can hear the charms banging against each other, which is weird because I don't believe he was wearing any charms that day other than that singular banded cross. It's the only, the barreled cross. That's the only one I recall on that you can see in any picture. And I'm pretty sure you would be able to see the other charms. And so if they're tinkling together, that means there's charms on this one, which means either she put charms back on it or this is a different necklace. This is we are off to a very weird start so far. I want to go ahead and spoil the surprise on this. I think every time she whispers, in my opinion, she's just not being honest. Every time she whispers and closes her eyes, it's like she can't even lie with her eyes open. Maybe she was new to this lying business at this time. I don't know.
I want to thank the millions of people who have shown their love for Charlie here in Phoenix, across America, and worldwide. I want to thank my husband's dear friend, Vice President Vance, and his phenomenal wife, Usha.
Eyes were open for Vance. Eyes were closed for phenomenal wife Usha. Just pointing that out. Not saying she hates Usha. Not saying she doesn't think Usha's a phenomenal wife. I'm just pointing out the obvious here.
For their love and support, you guys.
Who are you looking at? You're talking about Vance and Usha. They're alive. You don't have to look up. If you're talking to Charlie, you got to look up. Usha and JD are quite alive. Why are we talking to them in the ceiling?
Honored my husband so well bringing him home. You both are tremendous.
You both are tremendous. I don't think she thinks they're both tremendous. I could go on and play the whole thing this way. I don't want to keep doing this. I do want to fast forward to about the middle point where she starts getting into metrics, believe it or not. Metrics. So I'm going to skip some of this and get into the metrics.
Have the words to describe the loss that I feel in my heart. I honestly have no idea what any of this means. I know that God does, but I don't.
That means she knows what it means. Closing the eyes and whispering again. I think it's a sign of dishonesty. If you look at any book on how to read people, they're gonna kind of go there. You close your eyes and whisper. I don't know what you're talking about. You know what I'm talking about.
But Charlie, baby, I know you do too. I know you do.
That's that present tense thing. I probably skipped the time I wanted to show it because this is hurting my soul, frankly. I'm having trouble listening to this. But several times she talks about Charlie in the first person.
So does our Lord. And our world is filled with evil.
Agreed.
But our God You guys, our God is so good.
I don't believe she believes that. Like, that's that whisper thing. I'm sorry. I got to go where it takes me. That's my legend for how to interpret this speech. The whisper, the closed eyes, doesn't believe it.
So incredibly good. And we know that for those who love God, all things work together for good, for those who are called according to his purpose. Already I have seen the worldwide outpouring of love for my husband. I've heard the testimonies from people my husband inspired to get married, to start families, to seek out a relationship with God. It's the most important one of all. The evildoers responsible for my husband's assassination.
Evildoers, plural. Listen to this part. The evildoers responsible for my husband's assassination. She's not done with the plurality, folks. Listen.
Have no idea what they have done.
Have no idea. Evildoers have. That's a plural form of the verb there. Evildoers have no idea what they've done. I thought they caught the assassin. I thought the FedSlop narrative was he was alone. I thought the police were heroic in saving lives by catching the assassination. Who are these evildoers? Why are there more than one of them?
They killed Charlie because he preached a message of patriotism.
Who is they? They killed Charlie. Who is they? Who is they?
Faith and of God's merciful love.
And I do believe that he was killed because of his message of patriotism, America first, faith, Christianity, and God's merciful love. I do believe that. And I believe that answers the they, but I don't want to get too carried away.
They should all know this.
Who is they?
If you thought that my husband's mission was powerful before, you have no idea. You have no idea what you just have unleashed across this entire country and this world. You have no idea. You have no idea the fire that you have ignited within this wife. The cries of this widow will echo around the world like a battle cry.
Okie dokie. There's a sense of desperation that takes place. This is like what I would call Act 2. So Act 1 is this, we had to shortcut it because I could not do the whole thing, but we had to shortcut it. But Act 1 was my husband died, I'm sad. Act 2 is, and TPUSA is going to be stronger now that he's dead. It's a very weird message. A very weird message, because think about if Charlie's life mission was TPUSA and he wanted nothing more than it to be stronger than ever, and it's going to be at its strongest now that he's dead. Does that mean Charlie would have wanted to die? It's almost a subconscious, sublingual, merciful putting down of the dog, like he was sick or whatever. It's making this this idea that he if he could weigh in on it now, he'd say, yes, I'm glad I'm dead because TPUSA is now stronger than it was. This transitions from woe is me to TPUSA is going to be unbelievably powerful. And then she goes through a series of metrics. We're only halfway through. I'm not going to watch the whole half, but I do want to show this next minute or two, because this is where she talks about get involved, sign up for TPUSA. It's a little weird.
To everyone listening tonight across America, the movement my husband built will not die. It won't. I refuse to let that happen. It will not die. All of us will refuse to let that happen. No one will ever forget my husband's name, and I will make sure of it. It will become stronger, bolder, louder, and greater than ever.
I remember listening to this the first time. This is true. I remember listening to this first time and taking a great sense of relief. Because in the first few days after Charlie died, the first few hours really after Charlie died, there was a lot of question about, does TPUSA just go away now that his founder's dead, or does he somehow, or does it somehow survive? You know, is it going to be Ben Shapiro? Is it going to be Benny Johnson? Is it going to be Andrew Colvett? Is it going to be Tyler Boyer? You know, who steps into the role? Who steps in as the new Charlie Kirk, and can they keep the wagon in the track, in the furrow? Can you keep a wheel in the furrow? And so when I heard this, I thought, okay, good. They've got a plan. They've got to figure this out. She's going to make sure it happens. I knew nothing about her. I wish I still didn't, frankly. But I remember being relieved by this, so relieved that I did not keep track of the next few lines.
My husband's mission will not end, not even for a moment. And one of Charlie's greatest talents was his ability, this phenomenal ability to choose great people to follow him. He could always find the ones who could handle any setback.
They were setting this up from the beginning with her. What was Charlie's greatest talent? Picking people to follow him. Guys, none of us could have known this on September 12th because they hadn't picked her to follow him. But Charlie's greatest talent wasn't public speaking. It wasn't organizing a youth movement. It wasn't going out into the tent and letting people debate him. No, that wasn't his greatest talent. His greatest talent wasn't political campaigning, messaging, radio host, podcast host, writing books, even though he had like 16 books. No, that wasn't his greatest talent at all. His greatest talent was picking people to follow him. That's what she just said. Those were her words. That was his greatest talent. So what do you think they're setting up right here? They're setting up what we've been talking about here lately, which is, did Charlie pick her to follow him or not?
And it's almost like he knew. He could see it in you. Even when you couldn't see it in yourself, he just knew. He knew you could handle it. You thought you only had 5% left, and he knew you had 15. He knew you were ready to go that extra mile even when you didn't. He always challenged people around him to work harder and to be better. He never gave up. And I love knowing that one of his mottos was never surrender. So I want to tell you that we'll never surrender. We never will. Ever. Ever. Our campus tour this fall will continue.
So that was part 2, which was TPUSA is going to be better. Part 1, I feel really bad. Charlie's dead. Thank everybody. You guys are great. Charlie's amazing. Part 2 was TPUSA was nothing under Charlie. You have no idea what's coming down the pike. Charlie was the best, and he could really pick the people to follow him, and the people that are going to follow him are going to make it even better than Charlie was. You'll forget all about Charlie, even though his name, you'll never forget his name because we're going to leave his name on everything in his picture. But Turning Point 2 TPUSO is going to be amazing. Now we're entering part 3. I always view, I think in outlines. I think in ABCD, sub 1, sub 2, little 1, little 2. I think in outlines. And this is outline part 3. We've been talking for 10 minutes or so. This is the first 10 minutes we've heard from TPUSA and the first 10 minutes we've heard from his widow since he died. And we're going to get a campus tour update now. We're going into tour update mode. We're going to talk about the agenda. You know, when you tune into a podcast and it's a comedian and they're like, I'll be in Buffalo next week. I'm going to be in Rochester for 2 nights, Friday and Saturday. Mark your calendars. Then we're going to be going down south. We're going to be at Zany's in Nashville on the 30th. The 1st and the 2nd will be at Atlanta at the Fox Theater in Atlanta there. Down to Miami for mid-month. Ides of March. We'll be in, we're going to have a great show in Miami. Always love playing the Room in Miami. It's a great room. We're getting the great room speech. We're getting the tour update from the comedian at the beginning of his podcast.
Continue. There will be even more tours in the years to come. America Fest here in Phoenix this December will go on.
And then we're going to be at the Laughing Nancy Club in Charlotte. That'll be on April 1st. April Fool's Day show, always a blast. We're always at the Dancing Camel.
It will be greater than ever. The radio and podcast show that he was so proud of will go on.
And don't forget, you can check us out live. If you want tickets, go to the website. You can find our podcast wherever podcasts are distributed. Sonic Boom, Audio Boom, Spotify, Rumble. Check it out. Check it out. It's going to be great.
And in a world filled with chaos, doubt, and uncertainty, my husband's voice will remain. And it will ring out louder and more clearly than ever. And his wisdom will endure. All
right, I can't take any more of this. I had one more clip I wanted to play towards the end, like the last 2 minutes. I can't do it. I can't do it. So that was 2 days after he passed away. So in context, we have now Candace has updated us, the July dinner with Tucker, I guess. I don't know. Was she talking about, she's sort of weighing in on politics. Now we've got September 12th, 2 days after Charlie passed. It's hard for me to get out of my New York voice. Go Knicks, right? It's hard for me to get out of my New York voice to go back into normal podcasting mode. So that was September 12th. Then we have September 15th or 16th. I can't remember which. September 16th. September 16th. So 4 days after that speech, we have yet another Erika Kirk speech. We have another Erika Kirk speech. And we will check in with Ms. Kirk and see how is Ms. Kirk doing 6 days after Charlie passed.
Had private conversations with him. I want you all to hold on to those. And I want you all to remember those so deeply. I want you to journal about them. I want you to be able to tell your kids about them. I want you to hold those in your heart as why you're still here with the Turning Point USA family, because that's what we want. And like I said to our small group after whatever day that was that I did the thing on TV, how many days are still around Good Friday.
I thought that was the beginning where she was laughing about the emojis. I'll have to go back and find that. But you remember the emoji call. You remember the emoji call. Maybe I could just look that up. Sorry, guys. Serious business here. Serious business. No, YouTube has that blocked down. You can't search Erika Kirk laughed about emojis. Well, we've got this version here. Somebody's face is in it, but we'll allow it. We'll allow it. I don't know who this is, but we appreciate her for putting this in. I just want to grab this first little piece from our friend here. Don't worry about the lady in the bottom right. She was not on the Zoom call. We're not quite sure what she was doing.
Oh, look at all the thumbs up. Look how cute that is. Sorry, it's a little bit more informal than probably Charlie would be reacting. How sweet. I didn't know they could do that. I hate Zoom. I never like Zoom. Sorry, you guys.
So we gotta wonder. I mean, again, we're 6 days in here. We're 6 days in. We went from the battle cry of this widow will resound around the world. Be sure to book your tour dates. We're going to be playing a fall tour coming up. And then in the future, we'll have some other ones. Don't forget to check out the podcast. We went from that on the 12th to September 16th. Oh, look at the emojis. Look how cute those are. Those are amazing. Wow. You think a thumbs up. Charlie wasn't quite so informal, was he? No, Erika, nobody's that informal. You're literally the only person on earth who's that informal. Almost no one else on earth has ever been that informal. Ever. Ever. In a million years has anyone been that informal. Oh, is that the call there? Yeah, you can pull that down. I'm done. That's all I wanted to play out of it. Now we go to the leaked Zoom call from the day after the memorial. The day after the memorial. This is a leaked audio recording speaking to the TPUSA staff recorded the day after the memorial. So we've gone from the widow cry / tour update call on the 12th to the emoji call on the 16th, and now we're into merch mode. Now we're straight into merch mode.
Hi, everybody. I still love all these emojis.
Well, I thought we were out of emoji mode. Apparently, we were not out of emoji mode. We're still in emoji mode, but we're out of emoji mode in just a second.
Things. Wow. I don't even know where to begin.
How about go home and raise your kids? That's a good place to be.
The fact that we were able to pull off an event of a century.
And see, that's not where to begin. Okay, we're ignore the logo going across. This is just where I found this. Ignore that. But that's not where to begin, Erica. That's not where to begin. That's not where we should begin. We should not begin at the event of the century. It's called a funeral. It's called a funeral. Your husband's public memorial. You spoke at it. There were fireworks. So if you're going to say, I don't know where to begin, then remove the emoji discussion, remove the event of the century link.
It's just insane.
It is insane, but not the way you think it is.
We had over 275,000 people that attended, and the stadium, overflow, Westgate, insane.
I don't know. Insane must have been a famous word or like a really popular word when she was coming of age.
You guys, and then you have, was it 100 million? You guys that heard the gospel and all about Charlie and all about everything that you guys do, and the hard work of Turning Point USA is insane. We had thousands that were registered to vote. I think we're at like over 200,000 for merch sales.
So now we're in the merch sale mode. 200,000 for merch sales. That's not dollars. That's items. That's items. You figure an item is $25. So start doing a little math. Maybe $50. You start extrapolating that out and you realize why she was getting kind of excited.
Don't quote me on that because I think it just keeps like bumping up like crazy. But I just wanted to say a huge, huge, huge thank you to the events team, the development team, the graphic design team, the production team. It's just phenomenal. Their incredible work of leading into the memorial. And honestly, a lot of the staff that worked on the memorial, they had 20-hour days for a week during the time of us grieving the loss of my husband. And honestly, I know several staff that didn't even sleep. Again, you guys are...
I forgot to warn you guys. This was before she had been talked to about up-talking. I think Andrew or Blake or both have kind of warned her about it by now. You know, you can hear her struggling with it. She gets to the end of a sentence and she wants to go up, but then she like draws it out. She goes, I get to the end of a sentence and I'm dying to go up, but I'm cognizantly thinking about it. And so I don't go up as much. Like she's conscious of it, guys. She's working on it. She wants to be the guy. She wants to play the part. She wants to be the guy. She wants to be the part.
Breathing angels. And I'm so grateful for all of you. And obviously a huge thank you to the Mosaic team. VI, you guys are 10 out of 10. Like we have the most incredible team.
And again, that's enough for you to understand where we were at this stage. That's enough for you to understand where we were at this stage. Because at this time, we are, I don't know, 11 days after his death, 12 days maybe, 11, 12 days after his death. We're out of the tour update stage. We're past the tour update stage. And now we're in the merch sales stage. That's where we are. Now we fast forward. She kind of disappears for a little while. Actually doesn't disappear. She goes on her tour and does all this stuff. But she reemerges in January. Like after the December thing, she reemerges in January, and now she wants to chart a new path. We got a new Erika. So we had Turning Point 2 TPUSA 2.0. Now we're getting Erika 2.0. Erika 2.0 is going on the preaching circuit, and she's now a preacher. And we will pick up in January at the church of a pastor who's being sued for allegations related to child harm. And we'll pick her up here because there's a key part of this speech. You guys have seen this. This is the googly eye speech. You guys remember the googly eye speech. This is the googly eye speech. Actually, you know what? I want to try something. Oh, please. Let me try something. I might make this really cool. I might be able to make this really, really cool. Let's see if I can open this with. May not be able to. Yeah, we'll just do this. We'll just do it this way. I was going to open it with a different program where I could really zoom in on the eyes because there were some googly eyes here coming on. But let's go back to here and let's see where Erika is in January of this year.
Make is a mark on your soul forever. And people always say stuff, it's just noise. Remember, it's just noise. It's just noise. So when you feel things start heating up in your life, it's very tempting to ask the wrong question. Why is this happening to me? Very tempting. Don't do that. Please don't do that.
This is hard to hear. We had to download this, boost the audio, and the audio's still not ideal. It's a lot better than it was before Daisy got a hold of it and really worked on the audio. So we added captions. We added captions that did not exist in the original. So hopefully, if you're having trouble hearing, don't tell me to turn the volume up. That's all I'm giving it all it's got, Captain.
Instead, I pray that you ask the question, Lord, what do you have for me today?
What do you have for me today? Now, she's about to relay a story that we've not heard before or since. It's a version of a story they keep trying to shove down our throats. I want to see if you catch the story. There's a story that they are trying to force you to accept as reality. I don't accept it. I don't believe it's reality. I believe if it's reality, they would just prove it. They haven't been able to prove it. So I'm going to let her tell the story uninterrupted, and then we'll talk about it. See if you catch this version of the story and how it differs from the story they're trying to get you to accept on a daily basis.
Just today. Not about yesterday, not about tomorrow, but just today. What do you have for me today? Not why is this happening to me? You have to shift your perspective and your mindset. Because God doesn't have to explain anything to you. One day you'll know everything. It's like Charlie. But he does assign things to you. And I have an assignment. You all have an assignment. And Charlie would always tell me, if anything ever happened to him, to make sure that I would step in and run Turning Point. And I took that very seriously. I didn't. It's not a burden. This is not a 9-to-5 for me. This is something that we always talked about. We were not blind to threats. But for me, it's always raise the babies, run Turning Point. And some people have said, well, you should have put an interim in there. Really? My husband, during our whole marriage, asked me to do this, his wish. And I'm going to put an interim in there that could possibly burn the whole thing down. And then I have to come in later when I'm ready, which no one's ever ready for anything in life, and resurrect the ashes Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. I know the volume was not ideal there. That's why we put the captions on there for you. And we did our best to boost the audio on our end. The audio was captured very, very poorly at this event. I remember that when it was initially broadcast. Does anybody believe that Charlie would always tell her this? If anything ever happens to me, you have to step in and run Turning Point. That's what he always said. Raise the babies, run Turning Point. Raise the babies, run Turning Point. Huh? Is there a single person on earth that believes that? Does Lori Franzfey even believe that? Does anyone believe? Does Kent Franzfey believe that? Do your own parents believe that story? Does anybody at Turning Point USA believe that's always what he said? He always told me. Always, like pass the peas. If anything ever happens to me, you need to run Turning Point. Hey, we got dinner reservations at 5. Oh, and by the way, if anything ever happens to me, I need you to run Turning Point. Don't forget. Raise the babies, run Turning Point. Raise the babies, run Turning Point. That was it. He always said it. Always. Raise the babies, run Turning Point. I don't believe anyone believes this. Even if Charlie actually did ask her to do this, I don't believe it's something they talked about all the time. It was always this. It's just, he knew her 4 years. They were married roughly 4 years. Turning Point was 13 years old when Charlie passed away. She was around for 4/13 of it. Less than a third of it. Is there anybody believes that he was always saying this? Because when did he start always saying this? The first day he married you? Will you marry me? And oh, by the way, if anything ever happens to me, raise babies, run Turning Point. Raise babies, run Turning Point. He always said it. When did he start saying it? When did he always say it? I just don't believe you. I don't believe you. And you don't look believable. That's why I wanted to show the video and not just the audio. The audio is terrible, but I don't believe you. And I don't believe anybody else believes you. But they've stuck to this story. They're stuck to the story. And in the context, back to where we started tonight, in the context of where Turning Point has gone, consider what she just said. Because Turning Point TPUSA 2.0 is what she called it on day 5 after he died. Turning Point TPUSA 2.0 has taken a tremendous turn pro our greatest ally. You remember the Barry Weiss interview in December. Anyone who doesn't love Israel is an evil person. They're a psychopath. I mean, how could you not love Israel? It's the greatest thing that ever happened to the world. The greatest place on the planet. Go look at her old social media history. She's got pictures from Israel with her uncle there, and my uncle, or some random guy there. My uncle donated to build this gate. It's the greatest place in the world. Like this has been her thing, which is why on Saturday when I'm watching Candace's show, because I was not able to catch it Friday because I was traveling. But when I was finally able to get a little downtime on Saturday, kicked my feet up in the hotel room, and I thought, I got to watch The Principal. She did a show Friday, and I was not around for it. So let me turn on the replay. I go to Spotify. I fire up the replay like a good humble host would. I'm watching it sitting there, and I'm thinking, oh, no. Oh, no. There's only 2 options here. One is Candace is mistaken or not telling the truth, but I don't believe that. So it's fine. Could she be mistaken? Could Tucker not have said those things? Could Tucker have said something else and she misheard him? Or 2, Tucker was telling the truth. She accurately heard what Tucker said, and she accurately conveyed to us, which I do believe, that Erika sat down at dinner with Tucker Carlson the month and a half before Charlie died, and was rabidly anti-Israel. The consequences of that being accurate cannot be understated, which is why I was shocked when I opened up X for the first time in several days and did not see this story plastered everywhere. Because it is wholly inconsistent with every sentence about Israel Erika has ever uttered publicly or posted on social media. And to believe that she is behind the scenes with Charlie at dinner with Tucker, pushing a rabid anti-Israel message raises only a few possibilities. One is she's a liar. I mean, admittedly, she is. I mean, we've caught her in many lies. We've documented them here. I'd be happy to share that with anybody. Happy to make the correction on any of them that allegedly, in my opinion, but happy to make the correction anytime anybody presents evidence she was not lying or I'm mistaken. I'll be the first to correct it. But I've caught her in a lot of what I believe are lies. So it's possible she was lying. She sat down with Tucker. She gave this rabid anti-Israel speech because that's just what Tucker wanted to hear. And she thought Tucker was anti-Israel or anti-Netanyahu or anti-Likud party, whatever. And so she just fed into that. That's possible. She's just a dishonest person. That's option A. Option B is she genuinely felt that way for a very short period of time in mid-July. Like her entire social media and public speaking history prior to that, she was very pro-Israel. And then there was like a 2-week period in the middle of July where she was rabidly anti-Israel. And then after Charlie passed, for whatever reason, she becomes rabidly pro-Israel. So that's option B. Option C, a little weird also. She was rabidly pro-Israel. She turned right before Charlie died, maybe because of the stuff he was going through. She was rabidly anti-Israel, a position she still holds to this day. But she's lying now saying she's pro-Israel because she's scared or she just wants to get along or she thinks that's the path to success. That's kind of a dark answer because that means now she's living out a dishonest lie. She's privately anti-Israel as she was talking to Tucker that day in July. But she's lying to us and acting pro-Israel because she's scared or that's option C. Option D is dark. Option D is very dark. And unfortunately, I think it's the one I believe. Because option D is she was never anti-Israel. And she was lying when she told Tucker that she was. But the motivation for the lie wasn't just to fit in with Tucker. The motivation was to push Charlie in that direction. That she wanted Charlie to be anti-Israel. And think of the consequences of that. If she was pushing Charlie that way behind the scenes, look how that worked out for him. Because who was it giving Charlie the hardest time? It was the pro-Israel donors. They were the ones calling Charlie saying, you got to not associate with Tucker. You got to not associate with Candace. You got to push back on these people. You can't have Dave Smith show up for what is billed as a debate at the Student Action Summit. And then Dave Smith takes a proverbial club to Josh Hammer's head and just beats him. Metaphorically. That's a dark option. The implications of that option, I think, are pretty obvious. I don't even have to state them. But it's a dark option. But it fits in with the speeches that I played tonight, doesn't it? Option D fits in nicely. Because option D means she was poised to take over. That she knew she would take over. And that they'd be focused on Turning Point USA 2.0. A rabidly pro-Israel organization that's going to keep up the podcast, that's going to keep up all the good work, keep up Charlie's mission. We're going to keep doing the tour dates. We're going to have a fall tour, and then we're going to do a tour next year. You're going to love it. We're going to do the Dancing Nancy Room in Miami on New Year's Eve. It's going to be a great show. And it keeps up with the, merch sales and the hat sales and thanking the team. Oh, what an event of the century we pulled off. That was amazing. Well done, guys. Well done. Glad we had the occasion to do it. Oh, did I say that out loud? I'm still very sad about his death. Option D is very dark. I'm not saying that I know that's the option. I'm just saying I look at the 4 options I could come up with. And that's the only one that I think is rational. That's the only one that to me is rational. Is Charlie's life is at risk. She just admitted in this last speech we played that they were not unaware of the threats. Oh, Charlie always told me, raise babies, run Turning Point. And we had to have these conversations, because we knew the threats. Well, where were the threats coming from? Who didn't like what he was saying? What was he saying that they didn't like? Who was it who was calling him and causing him to go crazy and get angry on the Megyn Kelly podcast right after the Student Action Summit in August, right after the Donor Summit, right after the meeting in the Hamptons? Who was it that was causing Charlie to be, who was it that was calling him anti-Semite? He kept complaining people were calling him anti-Semite. Option D is dark. Admittedly dark. But it's hard not to consider. It's hard not to consider because it is so totally 100% diametrically opposed to every other public statement she's ever given, including in this speech that I just played. All the time. The whole New York week, the whole Barry Weiss show was just a Israel puff piece. The whole Shabbat Shalom shtick. Shabbat Shalom, Daddy's home. The whole book tour where she went around talking about how great other religions are. Not the religion of her dead husband, not the religion that she professes. So option D is a dark option. I don't know whether it's true or not. I don't know whether she said it to Tucker or whether Tucker misheard it and misconveyed it to Candace. I don't know whether Tucker heard it accurately conveyed whatever it was that she said, and then Candace misheard it. I don't know to what, I'm just taking everything at face value. But if that is what Erika said to Tucker, and if that is what Tucker said to Candace, and if that is consistent with what Tucker said Friday, that is the most consequential thing that has happened in this investigation since September 12th, since we learned Tyler Robinson had been arrested. That is the single most consequential point of this entire investigation. Because it puts into play the very dark notion that Erika might have been pushing him in a position to die. That she was aware of the threats. Charlie was certainly aware of the threats. Remember the Harrison Smith tweet from August? Harrison Smith of InfoWars takes to Twitter August, I believe, 13th, a little less than a month before Charlie dies, and says, a friend of Charlie's told me that if, there's the tweet right there. Can you make it bigger, just the bigger part there? Just the actual tweet at the top. There you go. Keep going. Just a hair bigger. Can you squeeze in the sides a little bit? Yeah, there. I'm not going to name names, but I was told by someone close to Charlie Kirk that Charlie thinks Israel will kill him if he turns against them. That was the Harrison Smith tweet, August, I believe, 13th, or maybe 10th. August 13th. Nailed it the first time. 2 p.m., August 13th. Not going to name names, but I was told by someone close to Charlie Kirk that Charlie thinks Israel will kill him if he turns against them. You can pull that down. Thank you for grabbing that. If that's what Charlie was thinking behind the scenes, and 3 weeks before that tweet, Charlie's at a dinner with Erika and she's pushing him in that direction, that's a dark option D. That's a very dark option D. Now we have grieving innocent widow off the table. We have to start asking hard questions to Erika. Every press person in America right now should have a question into Turning Point USA. Miss Kirk, is that accurate? Did that conversation happen? Now, don't troll the trolls, Andrew and Blake. This is not the time to troll the trolls. This is the time for a direct answer. Yes, she did say it. No, she didn't say it. And I think until we get that question resolved, the ball bounces in favor of Candace Owens right now. You have to take her at face value. Every second that passes without TPUSA issuing a denial, you have to assume that Tucker was telling the truth and Candace was telling the truth. And every single pro TPUSA Fed slopper, every one of them on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram, on TikTok, on podcast, every one of them has to now cover the story in the context of that statement. They all do. Did Erika do that? Did she say those things? Was she promoting anti-Israel statements at dinner in July with Charlie? Was she pushing him that direction? That's a compound question, but take the second question off the table. Did she say those words? Second question, was she pushing him in that direction? Was that the only time she made those comments? And if the answer to that question is yes, she's wholly unqualified to be the TPUSA CEO. She needs to be removed immediately. Immediately. Not because of anti-Semitism, but because of blatant dishonesty and potential complicitness in his death. Nobody can ignore that statement she made Friday. I don't know why it hasn't gotten more play. Nobody can ignore it. Nobody. Because it puts everything else into perspective. It puts all her other speeches, now they fall into a nice order. Now I understand, oh, look at the emojis. It makes sense. She knew it was coming, allegedly, in my opinion. It makes sense. And then I'll say this, I'll blanket the whole podcast tonight with the word allegedly, in my opinion, because I can't know whether she made those comments. I wasn't there. I haven't heard from Tucker. I have no idea if Tucker heard that. But I know that Candace said it, and I know it's been about 49 and a half hours since she said it. And I've not heard a denial from TPUSA that no, she didn't say that. Now, it's possible I missed it. I've been gone. I haven't seen everything they put out, but I would think I would have seen that. So, Andrew, Blake, ball's in your court. You guys like to be the Fed slop pushers. You guys like to be her cleanup crew. Clean up aisle 6 right here. We got to clean up aisle 666. You got to address this. You cannot wait until Monday morning on your podcast. You have to address it tonight. You have to address it tonight. And I would think, if I'm the board at TPUSA and I did not know Charlie was going to die, and I heard that story, I think I would be calling an emergency board meeting and say, did we appoint the right person? Do we need to get her on the phone to address the board? I mean, she's the chairperson of the board. Do we need to get her on the phone to ask her, did you say those things at dinner? So I go back and say exactly where I opened this show today. Well, not exactly where, because I opened talking about my dear friend who's very, very much struggling. But where I opened the content portion of the show today, I think Candace's show Friday was the single most consequential show that's been done since Charlie passed, other than her memorial show, which was the classiest memorial given to Charlie Kirk to date. If you've not seen it, you must go find it. It was the first show she did. Had pictures of them together, speeches. I mean, it was just, it's flawless. But I think the board must weigh in on this as a board. We need an official statement. We need a statement from Blake and Andrew. because they're the water carriers. They're the ones that come out and troll the trolls. We need a statement from them whether or not this happened. We need a statement from the board. It's that consequential. I don't think the board has to weigh in on everything. I don't think the board has to weigh in on whether she graduated magna cum laude or summa cum laude. I don't think the board needs to weigh in on whether she had a double degree. I don't think the board needs to weigh in on whether or not she was the CEO of a company before she met Charlie. I don't think the board needs to weigh in on when was their first date. Was it Bill's Burgers or was it the gym in Scottsdale? I don't think the board needs to weigh in on all that. But if the CEO and chairperson was rabidly anti-Israel at a dinner with Tucker Carlson, and then Charlie Kirk dies after telling people, I think Israel may kill me if I turn against them, and the wife is encouraging you to turn against them, and then he dies, and then we have this weird widow phase where she can't decide if she's happy. Is she wearing Elvis suits? Is she coming out to sparklers and fireworks? Is she sad? Is she wearing black leather pants? Is she wearing black lace? Is she wearing white suits? Like, she can't decide who she is. Is she sheepishly, oh, shucks, with the governor of Arkansas? Like, who is she? Because there's an option on the table that's one of the darkest ops ever run in the history of the country. And the longer it goes without a response, the more I just have to say, yeah, it happened. Like, I don't have any evidence to the contrary. I only have evidence right now that it happened. I have nothing from TPUSA saying it didn't happen. And that's where we are. That's where we are. I encourage you guys to continue praying for my friend and his family. I've not got an update. I don't think there's a good prognosis, short of a miracle. I don't think we have a good opportunity for a wildly successful prognosis there. So pray for my friend, pray for his unbelievably sweet wife, and his 4 children, all his family and friends. I mean, and I appreciate your patience, me not being here Thursday and Friday. Let me roll through some of your comments here. I thought about, he has a GoFundMe or a GiveSendGo or something. I thought about putting it up, but I don't want to do that because that's going to expose who he is, and I haven't talked to the family enough to do that. Maybe as things develop, maybe I'll share that on social media if somebody wants to be generous with his family. So if you think that might be something you want to do, hold back your generosity and perhaps you can indulge that at a more appropriate time. I'm not sure now is the appropriate time for that. But I will roll through some of your comments now. If you've enjoyed the show, go ahead and click the like button and subscribe and all that stuff. But I don't want to do too much shameless self-promotion there in light of everything that we've talked about. Welcome back. We've missed you. No glasses, caps till tomorrow. Triggered at a Baron 2X in live today. How are you holding up? Sending you lots of love. I'm holding up well. I am I've told you guys this many times. I'm a very awkward crier around people. I don't like to do it. And so I fight back every time I feel like I might want to if I'm around other people, because I'm not very good at it. Not good at it at all. It just makes everyone around me feel awkward. Thank you, Veronica Foster Kittens. Oh, you foster kittens, fosters. Baron Tucker said on Mario Nawfall interviews, accepting invites from anyone for interviews. Shoot your shot, my B. Yeah, but a little bitty guy like me, could I get him an interview? I don't know. I'll ask. I can ask. I can put in a request. And I'm sure if he said that, he's getting thousands. Mine will get lost in the shuffle. Love you so much, my B. Thank you. Thank you. Very kind of you. Very kind of you. We love you, B. Thank you for the show. Christ is King indeed. Thank you, Carrie Bigler, for your generosity. The Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit. I'm sorry for the loss of your friend. May you feel God's presence, peace, and strength in the days ahead. Well, we've not lost him yet. We've not lost him yet. We've not lost him yet. He is a very, very strong man. He was very, very fit before he got sick, and he maintained his fitness as long as he could. So he is very, very starting from a very, very strong base. Very, very strong base. Welcome back. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, Captain, my captain, praying for you, love. I wish I knew more of that poem. I know it's Walt Whitman, but I don't know much more than "Oh, Captain, my captain." Admittedly, you gained a subscriber, Baron, for proving you're a real friend to people in your actual real life. I'm glad you took time off. Proves integrity. I was not going to miss the opportunity to say goodbye, and as soon as I realized he wasn't going to be able to come home, it made sense to join a few of his close friends and make our way there. But thank you. Then we looked into N616RK, landing in Salt Lake City 9-8, roughly 33 minutes before SAM 702 and 0407 both landed in Davis-Monthan Air Force Base. Coincidence? Well, hold please. I have looked at that flight. We actually have that particular plane in our tracker. But let me look where Davis-Monthan Air Force Base is. That is in Tucson. Oh, that's the one that landed in Tucson. So I noticed that RK plane landed in Salt Lake. I trust me, we've chalked that plane out going back a long way and still keep pretty good tabs on it. There's actually 2 executive planes that the FBI uses pretty frequently, and we keep track on both of them. As for what it means, I don't know. I mean, there's a field office in Salt Lake, so it could be any reason. I can't believe you were in Arizona. That's where I live. Well, Cheryl, I wasn't going to tell anyone where I was going. That's not how to be safe. Baron advise homeschool trial for 2nd grade. I don't know what that means. What's homeschool trial mean? I wish I knew what that meant. Yes, do it. That's my advice. Go for it. Gifted 5 membos. Thank you. That'll come in handy. My B with his wedding ring on. I walked in and caught my niece twerking to the intro music. I hope she's of twerking age. Yeah, I just got in off the airplane and I didn't work. I knew I wasn't going to work out for a few days, so I wore the wedding ring. And in fact, I did work out while I was out there, and I had to take the wedding ring off and put it in my little rosary pouch that I carry in my bag with me, my man purse. Yeah, I was not expecting to work out there, but I don't know if you guys are familiar with F3. I've never been to an F3 workout, but the guys I was with are all big F3 guys and all very fit. And so they were like, hey, we're getting up at 06 and we're going to do a workout with the Phoenix area F3 group. And I was like, I'll go. It was fun. There was a great group of guys. Great. They've got a stupid name. That's kind of the thing in F3. You get a stupid name when you show up. I will not tell you what my stupid name is. I'll tell you, I almost got the dopest name ever. And as soon as I expressed interest in it, they were like, no, we're not doing that one. But I got one of this I don't want to say stupid name. I got a nickname. They give everybody that gets involved in F3 a nickname. It's a free little workout group for men. It's fun. I had a good time. I would definitely go back. Have you seen R. McCoy on FT? Cross-examine pod title, What's Next for TPUSA? 10/7/25, says EK widow only a few years before the Lord takes her home. Thoughts? I have seen that, and I've put some thought into it. My only thought of that was either he thinks, which is pretty normal for women with young kids, that they might remarry, so she would only be a widow for a few years, or that he's just using few, meaning time is short, right? Time is short. In scriptures, Paul compares time here on earth to a water vapor. It kind of comes up and then it's gone before you even notice it's there. He meant it in a comforting way. So if you're suffering, it's only going to be a minute and then it'll all be gone. But Baron, glad you're back. I had Baron withdrawals. Why I had Nick Kim withdrawals. I mean, that's how it works. I did discover a few new people and channels, though. Shout out Edge and Baby J. Saw you two there. Love this family. Christ is king indeed. I have a great time checking out new podcast channels. Sometimes YouTube, the algorithm will throw you a channel and there's like 14 people watching a live podcast. That happened to me a couple of weeks ago. I'm now one of their subscribers because I had a great time watching it. I don't even remember what it was about. It was like current events or something, but they were two girls and they were like engaging and fun and they had a great personality and they laughed and they had a good time. So I subscribed. I'm so sorry for your friend and we're here for you. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Baron, may your friend find comfort and rest through this transition and may you keep his memory eternal. You're in my prayers, as are his wife and children. Glory to God for a life well lived. Thank you, cheeky mama. I did not, that it sounds bad me saying that after that beautiful message, but watching his wife and kids this weekend was hard. One of the guys said, with kids, grief comes in waves. And I believe that. You're young and you're figuring out emotions. When you're like 5, 7, 10, 15 years old, you don't really know your emotions. And so it comes in waves. And I got to experience that. I saw it in real time in each of the kids. I hope, and I'm confident he knows this, that there's going to be so much love surrounding that family back home when they get back here. They will be loved. They will be loved. Wearing the wedding band suits you. Yeah, like I said, I didn't think I was going to be working out for 3 or 4 days. So I was like, as I was leaving, I threw it on. I don't wear it much. I don't even think about wearing it or not wearing it. You guys, you guys pay attention. It doesn't even dawn on me. God's way of healing him, even though it's the way we would like, and he will be home with the best man ever and have nice talks with Charlie. I hadn't even thought of that. I hadn't let my mind go there yet. I talked about the glorified body because his sweet wife talked about the glorified body, but I haven't even thought about the communion of the saints, right? Everyone who's attained that glory, getting to commune. Oh, what a beautiful vision. You're wearing your ring like you. I'm extra emotional today. My husband went to detox Friday. His drinking has really affected us, and he's finally getting help. Praying for you and me. Christ is king indeed. Interior designer, Utah. I will say an extra prayer for him. As one who has experienced the joy of sobriety now for 3.5 years. Wow. I pray he experiences that joy for a long period of time, maybe the rest of his life. It is a joy. We need more Barons. Let's not. I think I'm done with him. Shout out to my wife, Amber. Christ is king. They sent a message to Trump in front of the world, and he caved. Charlie was an example of what happens when you don't cave. Oh, well. Let's watch Candace this week. I think she will do a series of very important shows this week, if I had to guess, based on her show Friday. Prayers for a good man, a better friend, and a soul. I pray you will meet again. Amen. Yeah, that'll be a glorious reunion. Glorious reunion. Maybe Shoe CEO reference Charlie Kirk made was a side eye to Erika's BS clothing business. Same kind of industry. And don't forget, she's a self-proclaimed sneakerhead. Sneakerhead. Sneaky head. Shouldn't have said that. Allegedly, in my opinion. Sorry for your sadness, saying 3 Hail Marys. God bless you and Mrs. Coleman at this sad time. All prayers welcome, Cheryl. Thank you very much. God bless you and your family. God bless your friend. Praying for you all. Did you catch Tucker on Mario Nawful? No, I need to catch it. I've not caught anything the last few days. I did watch The Principal because she's the principal, but I've not caught much else. He said he will accept every interview he's asked to do. Great opportunity for a members show. I'll be honest. I wouldn't put that behind a paywall. Not that I'm putting things behind a paywall. I don't do interviews typically, and so I don't do those as my normal shows. I would do that as my normal show, because it's Tucker. It's the GOAT. The absolute GOAT. So sorry about your friend. My husband died from kidney cancer at 41, 10 years ago. My best friend died from colon cancer last October at 56. You've been so helpful through my grief, sending love and prayers. Christ is king indeed. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. You guys have been helpful for my grief. I thought about not doing a show now. I literally just walked in 30 minutes before, maybe 45 minutes before I put up the notice I was going to do a show. I did not know until I was typing in the notice that I was going to do it. But I was eager to get back, and I felt like talking through it with you guys would be therapeutic. So thank you. Love from your number one fan, Torquay. England doesn't have a Riviera. Don't lie like that. It doesn't have a Riviera. It has cliffs. It has cliffs and rocks. But I'll allow it. I'll allow it. Clock Tower. Interesting. Note, on your last show that I missed live, Parscale was a person of interest in Russiagate. It was called to testify in front of House Intelligence Committee. I did not know that. I'll have to check that out. Is there a way we can donate to help your friend? Number one fan from Belfast. There is, and when the time is appropriate, I will share that. I'm not going to share much, and only with his wife's permission. But I'm not going to share much about him in an identifiable way, certainly until we know more certainty about the future. Hospice are in here. I have a channel beside the bedside with Jen that I started. If anyone is going through hospice care, well, that sounds beautiful. That sounds beautiful. Such a what a difficult job that would be. Welcome back. You were missed. Praying for your friend's family, your family, and all his friends. May God comfort you all with peace that surpasses all understanding. Christ is King. There's a beautiful song by an artist named Jennifer Knapp. She kind of had a controversy, so don't hold that against her. Well, don't hold that against this song. But there's a song about the peace that passes all understanding. It is a beautiful, beautiful song. I would play it, but then I'd get a copyright hit. I can't afford it. Danks Live yesterday made the same correlation with Clock Tower and TPUSA by using Street View. Boom, baby. Boom. Danks is the GOAT. I like Danks. He's great. A GOAT. Visiting the sick is one of the corporal works of mercy. Father talked about it in the homily today, and suffering is such a mystery. Praying for you and your dear friend and his family. I'm trying to think of the gospel reading and how the corporal works of mercy fit in that. I'll allow it. Because Father Don Klein, he talked about, well, he did. He talked about charitable giving. Not in a like give to us way, but like a give to those in need. So yeah, I'll allow it. Also, Parscale is big in the Balkans. Parscale is big in the Balkans. I did not know that. I knew your humble host was. Bendazole, please look up Joe Tippins. He doesn't have to die. There's still time. I appreciate that. I do. Hello from Seattle, and congrats on your shout out from Jimmy Dore on Tucker. I've been on Tucker Carlson's show. You got, maybe not me in the flesh and blood, but your humble host name has certainly been there. I have a growing suspicion that Trump knows exactly who killed Charlie Kirk and why. Do you ever think so too? Do you think Trump might have even known beforehand? Well, I'll say based on Tucker's show Friday, on Candace's show Friday, excuse me. If that is an accurate story she was relaying, I will say that I think it would be nearly impossible for Trump not to have known. But I don't know. My inbox is always open for anyone who may just need an ear to listen. There you go, Michelle Catanilla. 93-87. I don't even know if Catanilla is Spanish, but that's where I took it. Might be Italian. And I don't know how to speak Italian. My dear husband left 10 weeks ago now to cancer. Slowly wastes one away. He accepted C days before. I know the experience, bittersweet. Joy for their paradise, but sorrow in our earthly loss. Christ is King. Praise the Lord. It is bittersweet. Listening again to his wife talk about the glorified body, I thought, in a way, you think, man, I wish he could have that right now. But then you're like, but I'm about to go in and visit with him, and he's I don't want to. I mean, I want to be able to visit, right? Be able to give him a hug, tell him I love him. I'll tell you a funny story. He would appreciate this. This is a funny story. So he obviously in not doing well. And the priest, or actually the chaplain at the hospice, was not Catholic, but knew my friend was Catholic. And he had gone to hospice, unplanned. So did not take all the stuff with him. And the priest thought, well, we should get not the priest, the preacher thought we should get a crucifix for you. I'll find a crucifix for you. Well, there's a Jesuit school, I think, down the road or something, or a Jesuit order down the road. And so he drove over there from the hospice care center and asked them, can I borrow a crucifix? I got a patient, he's Catholic, and he's got nothing in the room. And we'd like, we normally put a cross on the wall. He's Catholic. I don't have a crucifix. So can I borrow one? And they're like, yeah, here. And, but my friend mentioned, he's like, I wish I had a rosary. And everybody kind of looked around. And I was like, well, I have one with me. Now, the one I had with me is a very special rosary. It was given to my daughter by my uncle, whose wife's sister was a nun at the Vatican while John Paul was there. It's blessed by Pope St. John Paul. And so, but I was like, hey, do you want my rosary? You can have it. And he was like, well, I'll make sure it gets back to you. I was like, okay, great. And so, and in jest, then a few minutes later, like maybe a minute later, I was like, Jeff, I should have said his name. Don't act like you didn't hear that. I said, hey, friend, who was your confirmation saint? And he was like, St. Anthony. I was like, why'd you pick St. Anthony? He's like, well, I lose a lot of stuff. And so I'm always praying to St. Anthony. I was like, hey, can I get that rosary back? He died laughing. He's like, no, I'll make sure you get it back. That's the kind of guy he is. In his weakest hour, he wants to make sure everybody else laughing. Like, he thinks it's funny. He's got a great sense of humor. But yeah, he, what a man. Oh gosh. In my 66 years, I've held the hands of 3 people I love the most as they passed. Each time I was left feeling grateful to have shared the most vulnerable moment since birth. Glad to have you back. A couple of my buddies that were there, we talked about how birth and death are almost identical. You're kind of completely reliant on everyone around you. And I mean, it's a bookend. Like, it's like right now I kind of, I provide for 10 people. I wake up in the morning and I got to pay the bills, and you got to go to work, and something breaks around the house, you got to fix it, or you got to call someone who knows how to fix it, or, you got to wipe butts when they're little, and you got to fix scraped knees. And like, but there was a time when I could do nothing except lay there in filth until someone changed me, and lay there and count on someone to feed me when the time went, when I was hungry. And at the end, it's much like that. There's a beautiful symmetry to it. And again, I go back to what I said the other day. When I held my granddaughter for the first time, it's the first time I ever had this thought. When Jesus says, let the little children come to me, or come to me like a little child, is what he said. He did say, let the little children come to me, but he also said, come to me like a child. We always picture like an 8-year-old. I don't think it's that. I think it's like a 1-day-old. Completely helpless. Admit you have no power over anything. Admit you are completely reliant on a higher power. Admit you are completely vulnerable to anything that you need complete protection at all times. And that's how you come into the world. And for many in the natural order, that's how you go out. And so there's almost a preparatory phase there. Yeah. Sending prayers to your friend and all the souls who have been blessed to know him. Thank you. So sorry to hear about your dear friend. I cared for my stepfather till his passing from lung cancer in 2021. I'd always recite Isaiah 43:2 to him. Praying for you all. Thank you. Sending love and prayer. Sorry for what you're going through. Thank you for sharing how great your friend is. May the peace of Christ be with you all. Big hugs. Love you, B. I honestly wish everybody could know someone like him. I really do. And I don't just say that because he's passing. Like I said that stuff about him when he was alive, like when he was very much healthy. Just gentle and kind, and giving. You so love. Thank you for sharing your vulnerable situation, praying for your friend, his wife, his children, their hearts, and of course you and your family. Thank you. My father died of cancer when I was 5, brother when he was only 37. Your friend, pray for your friend and you. That's tragic. Thank you for sharing that. Hospice RN here. We got 2 hospice nurses here. We're on board to help ease the pain and help him pass with dignity and in peace. Oftentimes, we are an even bigger blessing to the families. Praying for peace for all. I agree. It's tough work. Heart broke reading your post Friday. I'm so very sorry about your friend. I'll be praying for his eternal life, his family, and you, of course. You're so very missed. Glad to see you smile. Christ is King. You know what shocked me most about getting that news was I just saw him not terribly long ago, and like he was in the best spirits. And like in the last few weeks, very like good spirits, and how you feeling? I'm all right. A little pain here and there, but I'm pretty good mostly. I mean, like he's not a complainer, so you would never know. You just would never know. Will you be sharing your Butler research with Candace? I am eager to hear how she covers it. But I do not anticipate I will hold back if she asks. My twin sister and I turned 55 Friday. We've been celebrating all weekend. Now it's time to wind down with RBP family. Baron, so sorry to hear about the news about your friends. Any prayers? Welcome in, Adriana. Happy birthday to you. I did not know you were a twin. That's amazing news. The world needs 2 Adrianas. Now we know we have them. Praying for you and your friend and family. Glad we're able to see him, and I'm glad you were able to see him, and I'm sure he was glad to see you too. Life is short, so we need to live it and love every minute possible. Very short. It's very short. Long-time listener, first time super chat. Please accept this gift for your friend and his family. I lost my mother and cousin August 2025. Was their hospice caregiver. It's not easy, but I cherish serving them in those last moments. Christ is King indeed. Thank you. Thank you for your kindness. Heart goes out to you and your dear friends. Family son passed at 11 from cancer, and he would have been 41 this year. Your message touched my heart. Wow. 30 years ago. And I'm guessing it doesn't get any easier. I mean, it probably gets more familiar. That's how I look at loss. It gets more familiar, not easier. But it doesn't wake you up and surprise you, like it does at first. I really think there's more with legitimate genetics of the Kirk kids. Okay. EK hiding her pregnancies doesn't align at all with Charlie Kirk's messaging. Unclear on the procreation standards in a honeypot plant situation. EK isn't maternal. I think they're his kids. I think they're her kids. I think she birthed them both. I'm not getting into their procreative situation, how it happened, the mechanics of it. I'm not thinking about. That's not something I spend time on, the mechanics of how she came to be with child. But I do believe they're his kids. I have no reason not to. And I'm confident she was pregnant. I'm confident. I've talked to people who were in the hospital, who visited them in the hospital. I'll say that. Not were in the hospital, but I've talked to people who visited the newborns. While in the Air Force Academy, my son had a sponsored dad in Colorado Springs with a wife and 4 young kids. He went to mass with them many Sundays. A year after my son graduated, his sponsored dad died of non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. Tragic. I hear that non-Hodgkin's lymphoma and Hodgkin. I don't know the difference between them. I know you don't want them, obviously. But I don't know much about them, like how you get them and all that. Sad to me. Cancer sucks. It's got no mercy. Got no mercy. What a friend you are, B. When we lost my dad a year ago, our support system carried us through the darkness. Y'all being there gave him peace and knowing that his family is loved and will be taken care of, praying for y'all. I think that was the message. More than us wanting to scratch our own itch of wanting to spend time with him, it was, you have more men than were there. We were representative of all the men who are going to help take care of his family. And I believe that. Like, again, without getting into messy specifics, but we've had very specific conversations amongst ourselves and our families about precisely how to chip in and help. So, my B, we ended up driving by UVU on our trip last week. Similar to your Arizona trip, it was so surreal seeing it in person. It made me emotional. Thank you for what you continue to do. Keep going, Max. I do intend to visit UVU. Like my trip to Phoenix and Scottsdale, I probably won't tell anybody before I go, just for safety reasons. But I intend to go. I expect it to be surreal, much like the Scottsdale trip was. Have you seen the video of Charlie and Erika at a supposed holy site where Jesus stood? I have. I saw that video. Honest Ash had it on their platform. Erika's behavior is telling. I did. If I recall, Charlie was reverent and standing back from where Jesus actually stood, and Erika may not have been. Now, I will be completely supportive of her here. She may not have known. Like, she might not have known the right way to behave in that situation. I'm sure I've done stupid things before. There's a rock not far from where I live, 20 minutes, 30 minutes away. And the rock has been stood on by 2 presidents, like 3 or 4 governors, a bunch of judges. It was in a park, and it was a slightly elevated position, and it had, rocks behind it, so it would project your voice in the days before microphones. So people would have political gatherings there. And the rock is not easy to stand on. You have to because it's kind of overgrown now, you have to kind of like work your way back there. But I couldn't help myself. I stood on the rock. Like 2 presidents stood on this thing. I'm standing on the rock. She may have had the same thought. I mean, granted, the presidents aren't our Lord and Savior, but nevertheless. Regarding Candace Friday's show was bananas. Yes. I'm surprised it's not like breaking the internet. I am stunned that it is not everywhere I turn. They'll talk about Egyptian planes all day. Oh, she's crazy, Egyptian planes. She drops those 2 bombs and they're like, yeah. Like, no, not yeah. This is a big deal. Also, the same plane staying over in Colorado Springs, September 7. Maybe unrelated, but that's the home of V Marks, Waterstone, Promise Keepers, U.S. Air Force Academy, Board of Visitors, and more. Claiming San Francisco Bay Area. Pretty low bar, though. Not really. You'd be surprised. We got a good covering in San Francisco Bay Area, believe it or not. Reminds me of the saying, in the land of the blind, the one-eyed man is king. That's pretty funny. Christ is king indeed. Now, I won't suggest it's our highest rated market. I think New York City is, which is always surprises me every time I look at it. Welcome, New Yorkers. Go Knicks, right? Everything we've been taught growing up was a lie. Yes. I had the same conversation this week with 2 different people. This weekend with 2 different men I was with. Everything we've been taught is a lie. All the textbooks were designed to push propaganda on us. Thank God we're all waking up to who the real terrorists are. Christ is king indeed. I had that very conversation. We just celebrated the heavenly 35th birthday of my son-in-law that passed in February. Per my daughter's wishes, we still refer to him in first person. Prayers for your friend. Christ is king indeed. Well, that's news to me. I've not seen that, but I will reevaluate my critique of Erika's first public speech since Charlie passed in light of your comment. I will do that. My B, Trey Anastasio from Fish used to go through my checkout line at Hannaford in the late 90s in Essex Junction, Vermont. Love your show. Christ is king indeed. Well, I would have had to make some jokes. Like, I would have had to bring that up. I'd had to bring something up every time. I'd be like, oh, did you enjoy the store? Did you bounce around the room? Did you have a lot of joy? Happy birthday to Anna, my beautiful wife of 29 blessed years. Your number 1 fan in St. Petersburg, Florida. Keep striving for the truth, Baron. God bless. Christ is king indeed. Brian, not Gary. Happy birthday to your beautiful bride, Anna. TP, a charity spending the equivalency of many people's yearly wage on BS like private jets, yet still has the gall to brag us for money. Wild. Well, how do you think they're flying all those people around? You got to pay. Costs money to fly people all over the country. Not cheap. Not cheap. Got to have a bunch of small dollar donors to foot the bill. Prayers for your friend and his family. Thank you, Louisiana Amy. As a wife who was 34 weeks pregnant when my hubs and fireman husband was diagnosed with rare lymphoma, I have deep ties to MD Anderson, who has saved my husband and my 8-year-old's father. If I can assist, please reach out. Thank you for that offer. I genuinely appreciate that. Very kind of you. Her speech sounds like it was written pre-event. I had the same thought. Would have made more sense, first responders, if the patsy was supposed to be George Zinn. It would have made more sense if instead of hitting his neck, it hit his chest and people would come over. And it would have made more sense if the patsy died in the shootout and the police saved a bunch of people. I mean, it sounded pre-written to me. My prayers for your friends, family, and loved ones. I think you're forgetting there was a bomb threat that afternoon and part of the city was shut down. You're talking about Colorado Springs? I think if you're not talking about Colorado Springs, I don't know what you're talking about. Hey, B. Thanks for all the work. Your research is the lifeblood of the program. It has driven me to introspect deeply on my own epistemology. Christ is king indeed. Well, thank you. I hope you are driven to study and read and learn more. There's a ledge on the bottom of the window of the Losi Center. It's used before the jump to the ground. That makes, for me, it not so Spider-Man-ish. The ledge is, I think, 14 feet in the air. And he puts his foot in the ledge, and then he grabs the hand, and that foot comes off, and his whole hand, his whole body weight is supported by his left fingertips while he swings down before he drops. So I've watched that video 1,000 times. 1,000 times. He does not climb down. He falls after holding his whole body weight up with one hand. The police did do something. They arrested the wrong man, George Zinn. They did more at Butler, took out Thomas Crooks, scrubbed his home and socials. Well, that's true. We will pray for you, your friend, your family, and your friend's family. I lost my father from cancer at 19. Still grieve 19 years later. Time helps ease the pain, but we've never forgotten the sting. Christ is king indeed, Jessica in Washington State. Well, thank you, crazy chicken lady. I prefer crazy chicken lady to Jessica in Washington State. That's just me, though. I'm old school. Only today realizing how weird it was they didn't let EMTs work on him. Whatever is protocol, rush to nearby vehicle, neck has to be stabilized. Weird. Yeah, especially in light of the fact that he had broken vertebrae allegedly. Did she record this speech prior to assassination? Yeah, I don't know about record, but certainly it sounded pre-written, if I'm being honest. Is English Erika's first language? English is my second language, and the way she speaks doesn't always sound proper to me. Broken sentences, word salad. No, I think that's an intellect issue, if I had to guess. I don't know. Erika's reading like a lawyer is writing the script for the board. Charles, my husband, legalese. The Charles thing was weird. The Charles thing was totally weird. And I did not catch it the first time. I did not catch it the second time. And I only caught it when I watched it this time. I thought, why is she calling him Charles? Who's Charles? Like when I hear people, like I see it written Charles James Kirk or whatever, I'm like, who? Charles? That's weird. Charlie. 613, Tucker buys out Junior. You can disagree with our opinions, but you can't say we're paid to have them. Tucker's statement. 712, Charlie Kirk and Tucker go max. A week later, he goes on sabbatical to Tucker's. As friends, what do you think they talked about? How to get out IMO. What if I'm listening to Candace right, it sounds like they talked about our greatest ally. And it wasn't the most positive conversation. AKA Usha, don't suspect me being inappropriate with JD. Yeah, you might be onto something there. Glad you're back, sir. I'm cooking coconut curry chicken for my husband while listening to this podcast with long grain rice, though, not basmati. Still awesome, no matter what you say. I'm sure it's amazing, Cheyenne in outer space. I'm sure it's fantastic. I'm just saying, when Mrs. Coleman makes rice, it's basmati, and it's also fantastic. It's also fantastic. Awesome. Peter Magyar said that they'll apprehend anyone wanted by the ICC if they enter Hungary. I somehow doubt they'd follow through if the Beepster showed up, but it's interesting. I doubt they'd follow through. Prayers, Baron, friends, and family. Super glad you're back and love that you're wearing your wedding ring. Kristen Critter, thank you. Thank you. I did not know that you guys had such deep thoughts about that. Fenbendazole, look up Joe Tippins. Yeah, we read that one already. Thank you. EK waffling on the topic of our greatest ally. I can hear Erika up talking about her newly appointed role as CEO. Like, I was networking. Yeah. I got a text about what people in SC think about our greatest ally. I responded and they sent me a link to a website by Clock Tower X. Olivia. They didn't like my response. What happened to Mark Splained? That's a longer story. The second part of the question there. The first question, them sending you to that website, is pretty remarkable, frankly, because the only reason that website exists is to send people to it. It's not like it's a website that exists. They're like, oh, here's one we could use. No, they created that website. EK talks like Charlie's there. Then a few days later, my husband is dead. Get over it. Very odd and inconsistent. Thank you for the show and praying for your friend's family. Oh, that's a good point to the person who said they still talk about their family member in the first person. She was not talking about him in the first person just 4 days later. Good call. Good catch. I can't figure out why she looks so different in this video compared to others. Can't remember I don't know what video you're talking about. But yeah, she has thank you, Betsy. She's a lying witch. Allegedly, in your opinion, Ivan. Man, I love you, but this woman is lying her donkey off. Makes me so mad. BB did it. We all know. Well, that's your opinion. That's your opinion. But yeah, the first part's hard to argue with. I cried harder than she did. I was thinking was she on something? Well, maybe. Might have been on money. We're supposed to believe that they is the liberal left. Well, she didn't say that. But Baron, why are we watching Drewski? We're not. We're watching the original EK, Dr. Erika. My 6th diagnosis for B lung at 59 years old, 9 months ago. So heartbreaking. My sister diagnosed stage 4 B lung at 59 years old, 9 months ago. Heartbreaking. She's a fighter. It changes everything. Not surprised to hear that a friend of yours is an exceptional human, as I think you are. Something for his family. Thank you very much. Thank you very, very much. He truly is an exceptional human. Never understood why Erika only wipes her left eye. Am I the only one? From this speech on, the weirdness worsened. My soul also hurts. Yeah. As a Christian, you shouldn't speak to the dead. Well, I agree. We shouldn't be asking them questions. That gets into the realm of mediums, and that gets weird. That's why at this point I overlooked the casket footage because I thought she wanted the world to see it, and she was going scorched earth vengeance tour. The casket footage is weird. I forgot. I should have included that because that was like day one. Hey, Baron, didn't Erika say that the security team were protecting her, and then Victor's team supposedly helped 2 days after? I don't think Erika said that. I think Victor said that. Now she's saying it's the police that were protecting her. I think Victor's the one that said that. Sitting here wondering if Erika is stuck the way Trump is. Maybe that's why she got roped with Einstein. Planned the whole time, compromised, then made handler now do what Charlie wouldn't. Not the worst theory I've heard, if I'm being honest. I believe Candace told us Mikey wrote that speech. Mikey's been tweeting up a storm, not a fan of EK or AK. I tagged Daisy so she'd know his X account.
It's not Mikey. It was the other guy I was telling you about.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I saw the tweet though. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, we're following that account. We're aware of it. It's a different Mikey. That speech is so cringe in hindsight. Good grief. Yes, in hindsight. You should watch the whole thing. I didn't want to play the whole thing because it's too cringy. Welcome back. I still wonder if they pre-recorded this video of EK. She starts with, CK is my husband. He died 2 days prior to this. Tenses are important. Prayers for your friend and his family. Christ is king indeed. Tornado Ali. I don't think it was recorded ahead of time, but I don't rule out it being written ahead of time. What are some of your best book recommendations? Big fan from North Kakalaki. That's my reminder to get my book list out. All right. Oh gosh. Oh, let me pull up let's see where we are on the book list. I got to get it out. My problem is, so I only have 6 on here right now. Worlds in Collision, How to Win Friends and Influence People, River of Doubt, Chaos, Rome Sweet Home, and The Path of the Pole. I had another one I was going to add the other day, and I can't remember what it was. I need to expand that list. All the legalese. It's almost like she stalked his journal well in advance and his goals for TPUSA growth and built the Geofence Clock Tower High School Indoctrination Camp in a TPUSA skin suit. Almost Egyptian jet guy. Hey, were you Boise jet guy or are you two different people? TPUSA is a performance, and our government is part of the cast. Maybe the additional power comes from the blue and white country backing them. Well, maybe. Edge, her only cry is yippee, I'm rich. Can't recognize that she is property fully possessed. Yeah. I thought it. Did she forgot to plug the hot sauce? That was a thing. Hot sauce? I don't remember that. In honor of our brave America First podcasters, thank you for speaking the truth into this year. We need you. Christ is king indeed. Well, thank you. Thank you. Appreciate that. Has anyone looked into advanced planning of Charles's memorial? Turk said it was 9 days later. It was 11. Pre-recorded. Way too much planning required. So we did look into we reviewed the podcast that the planners did, the company that was contacted to plan it. And I will say this, there were a lot of inconsistencies in that podcast. I always chalked it up to, it was just the chaos of the moment. Maybe I need to go back and listen to that podcast again. May have been more than just the performance. So Charlie could see things in people when they couldn't see it in themselves. You mean like Candace? Huh. Yeah. Oh. Ooh. Good call. Oh, I almost forgot the Girl Boss Conference in a TPUSA skin suit. Yeah, the Girl Boss Conference. You got to bring in the girl bosses to tell people to stay home and raise their kids. Can I tell you the joy I felt when you mentioned gang banging in Little Rock? I didn't read the rest of the comment. I just mentioned gang banging. I was like, I didn't mention that. I don't know what you're talking about. That's not this show. It's a different show. Oh, gang banging in Little Rock on the show. I bring it up all the time and no one ever knows what I'm talking about. It must only be for those of the high IQ. I've watched gang banging in Little Rock. We watched that in high school. Probably, I don't know how many times. I had a friend who had it recorded on old VHS tape. We watched it all the time. His name's Taylor. He passed away in 2007. He was a great guy. A great guy. Charlie named one person in his dying hours as his dying wish to lead TPUSA on stage. Candace is who he wanted to bring back. That's the direction he wanted to go. He didn't say, I am thinking of bringing Erika main stage. Well, Erika's on the main stage? Could Erika be using the word they, as in furry liberals, etc.? She then tries to start a riot saying they don't know what they opened up. Yeah, maybe. Even EK's snot seemingly lies. God bless Ma B. Ma B. I haven't seen her snot, I'll be honest. I don't think I have. Baron's True Sacrifice is listening to TPUSA and EK for 12 plus hours. We don't have to. It was a sacrifice. Like, you know how many times I had to stop her speeches and be like, oh, and like scan ahead to see if I stop now, am I going to miss anything? Oh, they were nauseating. I watched them though. TV appearances, interviews. God bless, man. We appreciate you and all you do. You and your friend is in our prayers. Christ is King indeed. Don't forget, I watched 10 years of Rob McCoy. Don't forget, I watched 10 years of Rob McCoy. Maybe more than that. Maybe like 12. Watching her speech now, I realized that her overall tone speaking about the day he died was like it was a success and not a tragedy. Yes. Thanking people and naming heroes like an acceptance speech. Yes. Yes. Good call. What a wonderful way you have. What's your name? Joanne K. Drolette. What a way you have with words. That is a excellent, excellent observation. I really think that Erika's laughing and trying to cover her face when she rides through and hangs out the St. Michael pendant trophy. She covers her face except one eye, looks elated. Did she hate him? I need to go back and watch that. Glad you're back, Baron. Sending you love from Baton Rouge, the capital of the great state of Louisiana. Thank you. About the chain in her hand, it came to mind what Criminal Minds TV show says about trophies. Praying for your friend and his family. Christ is King indeed. There was too much emphasis on the necklace for me. The whole time, lots of conversations, lots of her dangling it around. Way too much emphasis. The necklace was not synonymous with Charlie. No one knew about the necklace. I mean, we saw he wore a necklace, but no one was like, ooh, necklace, that's Charlie. So many things I would associate with him before I would get to the necklace. I'd love for someone at TP to leak the date when TP put the mass order for Freedom shirts. The order put in before 9/10. I don't think you would need to order that first. I don't think. Let's start first with the white suit twice. Then no emotion, real tears. The grieving widow gives a full speech and pep talk. BS, she's an empty vessel. Whoever wrote her speech was an idiot who showed exactly who she is. I think there's a lot of truth to that. We all know we lived in a messed up world, but this is just starting to get ridiculous. These people are exhausting and gross. Lots of prayers for your circle of love you have around you. God bless. Thank you. Thank you. Prayers of healing and comfort for all involved with your friend. You're a good sleuth person and good friend, sir. Christ is King indeed. Thank you. Thank you. Very kind. Edge, I'm sorry to hear about your young friend. Please let us know how we can help his family. When the time is right, I will. When the time is right, I will. I promise you. Thankful for your safe, if his wife approves. Thank you for your safe travels. This made me cry. Praying for your friend and for those of you he will leave behind, especially his wife and kids, to be filled with the peace and comfort only Jesus can give. Thank you. Thank you. 2 Corinthians 4, 16 to 8. 2 Corinthians 4, 16 to 18. Thought I knew that. Then there's said here I don't. Off the top of the old noggin. The second letter of St. Paul to the Corinthians. 4, 16 to 18. Sounds a little something like this. And it goes a little something like this. Hit it. So we do not lose heart. Though our outer man is wasting away, our inner man is being renewed every day. For this slight momentary affliction is preparing us for an eternal weight of glory beyond all comparison. Because we look not to the things that are seen, but to the things that are unseen. For the things that are seen are transient, but the things that are unseen are eternal. Well, that's beautiful. Thank you. It's comforting. Baron, sorry for your loss. Glad you are back. Well, thank you. Dennis Hastert worked for his family restaurant in Plainfield, Illinois, called the Clock Tower. Also a student ambassador with People to People with Tony Podesta. His restaurant was called Clock Tower? The perv? Did he? Mr. Barron, prayers for your friend and his family. Christ is King indeed. Thank you. Tucker was the only one who gave a eulogy. Everyone else was a political TPUSA sporting speech. That's a good call. I'll allow that. EK, bad at past, present, name, knows, clock tower needed. Okay. Dissecting their words as you do exposes them. Thank you. Thank you. That's what I'm trying to do, is get to the truth. Edge, don't we all have voter registration booths at our loved ones' funerals? Yeah, that was weird too. That was one of the things she bragged about in that speech. I don't know if I played that. Like how many people they registered to vote that day. I'm like, let's just memorialize the guy and move on. Nola RN Jen, please give this to your friend and his family from ours, Baron. Would they be opposed to a GoFundMe? I know our community here would take care of them, praying for them and sending his wife so much love. Please let her know that she will get through this. So my plan is, and this I'm going to ask her. I can't do this without asking her. I would like to put the GoFundMe as a QR code and maybe a link, and then just say, do a show and say, don't donate to me. Don't, if you want to give me something, give it to him. We'll just do a show and then we'll do comments another time or something. You know, just that's how I want to do it. But I cannot put up the family's, because the GoFundMe has their family's information in it. And I can't put that up on the screen without her permission, obviously, and certainly not while he's still with us. So I promise you, if you'll bear with me, and I will properly allow anyone who wants to help his family participate. It's been he's such a wonderful man. It's been a very successful GoFundMe so far. Not the $6 million that they raised for Erika, but I tell you, his wife needs it more than Erika, if I'm being honest. Praying for you, Baron. My grandma has been on hospice since February. I'm so grateful she's still with us. I cried so much hearing about your friend, hoping he's here with us a lot longer. It's a tough. It's a tough prayer to ask at the very end. It's just tough to know what to pray for. You know, there's a passage where Paul's like, you don't know what to pray for, so you just like pray. That's kind of where I've been. Like, I don't know what to pray for. I just kind of pray. It reminds me of Mother Teresa. They say, what do you say when you pray? She said, I listen. They say, what does Jesus say? She said, he listens. Thank you. You're all fired. Pageant's over. Who is not watching the event tonight? I have no interest in that. I don't watch UFC anyway, but I'm no interest in watching that. Somewhat sickening. Even the Rolling Stone article just released spoke about all the merch at the event. The hell's going on with the merch? How about great husband and father, Erika? Yeah, you shouldn't mention that part. I went to Alaska and felt obligated to wear my holy mackerel sweatshirt to the salmon capital, Ketchikan. I've been to Ketchikan. I've been there. It was a hit. I'll be praying for your friend. The Lord is near the brokenhearted. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. Been to Ketchikan. Number one fan from Scotland. Remember, nice to have you back. We all pray for your friend, but remember, Jesus loves you. He does indeed. He does indeed. Baron, you and my husband inspired me to start a YouTube channel. This clip you played was my second episode, The Widow. Christ is King indeed. Prayers for your friend. Just winging it. I'll give you my advice I give to everybody. Get as many reps under your belt as you can. You cannot go live too often when you're starting out, or do shows too often. You just got to get those reps in, and just understand your count will be low for a while, but if you stick with it, YouTube rewards those who put in the work. Typically. The battle cry comment is cringe. That's something people say about a third party type ego required to say it about yourself. I thought that too, which made me think someone else wrote it and didn't really think about the reality that she would be the one reading it. Stop that, EK. God never tells us not to ask why. Yeah. EK is so inarticulate and vacuous, oozing insincerity. Vacuous. A great adjective. Vacuous. I'm sorry she makes my skin crawl like no other. I get extremely emotional from losing my best friend 15 years ago. She's a horrible human being. Not your best friend. Surely. Karma cannot come fast enough in my eyes. Charlie knows the truth now. God rest his soul. Christ is King indeed. Well, that's tough. Charlie knows the truth now. Woo. Who's EK's optometrist? Her appointment is overdue. You're saying she can't see? Speech is not personal and is like TPUSA advertisement. It's just about how he ran his company and nothing about how he was a father, husband, son. It's weird. It's weird. It's like he didn't exist outside of his usefulness to create a youth movement organization. Didn't hear her battle cry. Didn't even hear a sniffle. Yeah, there was no cry. She means Candace suggested an interim, LOL, to burn it to the ground. And yeah, right. Who on earth would run TPUSA and raise babies? Spooky assignment. I don't believe he ever said it. There's no way that Zoom call was 4 days after this first speech. Look at her root growth. Root growth? Now I got to look at the Zoom call. I got to pull it all back up. Root growth? Hold on. Hold please. So this is the Zoom call. Now I got to go back to her first speech. We're looking at roots, guys. Hold, please. Hold, please. All right. I'm going to do two frozen screens here. Okay. So this is frozen screen A. Share screen. There's frozen screen A. Okay, we've got what? 3/4 of an inch of dark roots here, give or take. Okay. We're on root watch. Well, this is interesting. Is it the lighting? I don't know. I'm not a women's hair specialist. I'll leave that to the experts. But I will say, you might be on to something. I think he could have wanted Candace as vision leading CEO. Finish it first him with her own COO running it so she could focus on mom life, and they had to stop that in its tracks. I don't know who he would have had in mind. I mean, I believe he said, we got a great board. They'll figure it out. Like that, because that's what he said. God forbid if something happened to me, we got a great board. They'll figure it out. I appoint Erika. What? I thought the board was going to figure it out. When Trump said he took Adelson's money, then do her dirty. I thought Andrew told on Trump, but now I wonder if Charlie told Erika and Erika told on Trump. Ooh. Interesting. She told Megyn Kelly in her interview she heard him say that when she watched the video, avoiding the NY topic. Oh, that's correct. But then a month later, she tells TPUSA, Charlie always said that. He always said it. Raise babies, run TPUSA. Raise babies, run TPUSA. Like he couldn't stop saying it. Wake up in the middle of the night and is dead asleep saying it. Honey, wake up. What? It's 2 a.m. What do you need? Raise babies, run TPUSA. Oh, I got it, Charlie. Go back to bed. Alarm goes off 5:30. Boop, 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 boop. Honey, get up. The alarm's going off. Oh, okay. Raise babies, run TPUSA. He always said it. So CK said everything publicly. Always told EK to leave the babies to be raised by someone and run Turning Point, but forgot to say it publicly. Yes. Managed to forget that part. Erika acts like one who has no true emotion, but has watched videos of real grief. She's dabbing eyes, looking up to prevent tears from falling, sniffling, etc. Very inauthentic show. Love show. Jesus loves you. It's interesting you say that because I can't remember. I don't know if I've told this on air. I was watching a podcast not terribly long ago. This guy, I see him all the time. I can't remember his name. But he was talking about true psychopaths. He's like, these people have no emotions. They're like sociopaths. He's like, so a normal person, let's say you got like 10 people and they see a murder. And you watch all these people and they just react in horror. And the sociopath is not watching the murder and reacting in horror. He's watching the people react. And then they all go on their way and they're shaken and they're traumatized for the rest of the day, maybe for a week or more. And the sociopath is going in the mirror in the bathroom and going, trying to recreate the horror. So that if he needs to deploy it later, he knows what it looks like. That's what she reminds me of. If I'm being honest. Ray Baby, then run TPUSA, not ditch babies, run TPUSA. Well, you didn't hear him. I pray Charlie never lived through this, only because I feel like living through this and not being able to speak would be as actual hell. And I truly hope he would have to face Jesus and not this. I don't believe he's alive. He'd be a monster. He'd be a monster. People are grieving his death. That'd be a monstrous thing to do. You fake your death and people are grieving. If you cause people to grieve, you're a monster on purpose, like as a joke. I'm so sorry for the reason you came to Phoenix. I'm very glad you got to see the beauty of this kitty litter box, though. Sunsets are the best, and the mountains never get old. Arizona Girly 92, it was beautiful. I'll be honest. It truly was. The flight in was beautiful. Had a window seat on the way in, had an aisle seat on the way out. But I'd already seen it. It was beautiful. Yeah, thank you. If it's option D, that makes it was supposed to be you from AK and CO, the day of the Big Bang, make a lot more sense. Yeah. It might be naive, but I think it's C and a combo of things. I think she has borderline personality disorder and she's scared now. It explains the lying and weird affect, why she seems off emotionally. Could be C. She knew it would get him blank, and she wanted him out of the way for the money and fame. Like she knew it was dangerous, so she pushed and then reversed course. Yeah, that's an option. EK isn't scared. Remember, Victor Marks told her she was safe, and they only wanted Charlie alive. I forgot about that. You're right. What if she was acting anti to spy and collect info on Tucker and Charlie, just as diabolical? Option E, honeypot the whole time. Yeah. But wouldn't that also be D? Couldn't that also be D? OMG, I just literally included these same clips, and it will be in my third episode. Just winging it. My third episode drops tomorrow. Love you, Baron and family. Best of luck to you. Keep at it. I like watching people start out as creators and get better. Mosaic team started to work with TPUSA in 2019. Oh, imagine that. I'll take option D for $50, Alex. I know what Jeopardy is. What about just a psychopath? Option E. Well, but again, you can be a psychopath and be option D. When you have to be a psychopath to be option D. If a woman has eyelash extensions, they have to be deliberately removed. EK has a costume for every event. No makeup on the merch telecon was the act. I didn't think she'd think it would leak or she wouldn't look like that. Congrats, Daisy, on the followers and the assistant. Daisy, I saw that tweet, and I thought it was hilarious. Daisy hit 10,000 followers on X, and she said she'd like to thank, and she gave a series of people, and one of them was her personal assistant, and then she tagged me. I laughed. Witness at airport, day of. EK, I blanking knew it. Colvette, EK call with VIP. Ask what do you know. EK, I know everything. Yeah. Leah Files episode on TPUSA financial cover up. Is there something you want to say about it? You just pointed it out. Prayers to your friend and his family and all friends and friends. Christ is King indeed. Thank you. Happy 10,000 followers, Davesley. Oops, I mean 99.99. Well, that also happened. Someone unfollowed her and made it under 10,000. But then they followed her back. Option D, to possibly playing the dutiful wife and following Charlie's lead on this issue. A little less dark, option D version, but I see your. Well, then she's a liar because she's out there giving speeches saying the exact opposite thing. That's not a good option. CK was dishonest with CK Tucker, mirroring their sentiments, hoping CK would suggest her as a good successor rather than the board handling it. They wanted CK to believe EK was on his side while others turned against him. Liar. That's what you're saying, liar. Baron, I live in the Phoenix area, and St. Bernadette's is so beautiful. The only time I've attended was last Christmas, but a great Christmas treat. So glad you've been there. It was gorgeous. For your friend's family. Thank you. I will say this about St. Bernadette's. we got there and they were closed. We went there just Saturday afternoon just to stop by and pray for a little bit. And they were closed. And the priest was coming out as we were coming in. And we just said, hey, can we come in, pray for a little bit? He's like, yeah, church is closed right now. I'm leaving. And then we told him, well, we're here for a friend. And he said, well, that's who I'm actually going out. He was walking out the door to go visit him at the hospice center. And so after we made the connection, he's like, let me make a phone call. So we called somebody and they opened up the church. Not only did we get to go in, they gave us the grand tour. It took like an hour. I mean, we saw everything. It's beautiful. Went inside don't tell people this, went inside the organ. It's huge. Huge. She was just agreeing with everything he said and did, just playing a role of a wife, pure handler stuff. Could be. She's pushing him anti-privately and publicly. She was pro. This could be a huge point of contention in their marriage. His wife was a bargain. 20 personalities and one glittery pantsuit. You go, good soul. Christ is King indeed. Thank you. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. You just took on a whole new meaning. She knew Charlie Kirk would take a drink. Wow. Of delicious Fiji water. A lot like Breitbart, don't you think? Not exactly. I wonder if the person close to Charlie was EK. Also, I do believe it's possible this dark option is legit. Seen enough. Who the blank did I marry? Tucker was on Mario Nawfal's show a few days ago. 45. Tucker said for the last couple of months, he's accepted every single interview request. This is your chance. I'll reach out. Happy to interview. After last show, I must recommend Ren, especially song Caskets. Don't say you won't. Ren is worth it. I promise. Ren says a rising tide lifts all ships. RBP lifts ships. Love from the #1 Saskatchewan fan. Thank you. She was miserable as a housewife mom, wanted to be famous, so she made a deal with a Faustian bargain with her greatest ally, where she'd be CEO and then run her as VP on Ticket with Vance. I know a lot of people are making a deal about the VP thing. I just don't see it. I don't see how anyone would have ever thought that. Send the gifts and go to your members. But I'm not sending that out without her permission. I got to talk to her first. I'm not going to talk to her right now. She got a lot on her plate. It's almost as if EK wrote, but I will. If she's okay with it, I absolutely will. I hope so. I hope she's okay with it because I want people to be able to help. I want her to have the help. It's almost as if EK wrote the speech following CK's death before it happened. Subconsciously, she refers to him still alive and based on the plan. Yeah. Somebody could have written it. Preach, GBC. She's complicit. Now it all makes sense. I can smell that guy brewing a great big stinky. Andrew and Blake must be Winnie the Poohin. Oh, I don't want to think of Blake Winnie the Poohin or Andrew for that matter. Look up prayer to St. Joseph Novena for miracles. We'll do that. Thank you. Baron, I gasped. Baron gasped when you gave us option D. Yeah, well. Tell me you didn't think it. When my hubby died, I couldn't function for months. My boyfriend had to bathe and feed me. Am I reading that right? My best friend. Woo! I was so confused. I was like, Miss Bourne, why were you so torn up? When my hubby died, I couldn't function for months. My best friend had to bathe and feed me. Grief has a real definition. It isn't giggles and fireworks. We love you, RB. Whew, glad I got that worked out. Sorry to hear about your struggle. Prayers for your friend. Fresh parsley can help cure cancer. In her first speech, Erika kept saying Charlie and his Savior instead of our Savior. I noticed that. She said his Lord and Savior. I've been praying for your friend and his family and will continue to do so. Praying for you too, brother. He will soon be healed for all eternity. Yeah. I believe that. In light of tonight's talk, it's time to deep dive into the meaning of the comment EK made on that photo she posted of her and her mom in the care center hospital. Yeah. She said, I wanted you to hear it first or something. I don't know, man. I don't know. EK also got Kanye to turn against Candace and Charlie Kirk. That's the rumor. That's the rumor. Got a gifted memo. Drop it on somebody's head as we speak. Just wanted to say congrats to the University of Tampa baseball team for their three-peat national championship. First to do it, D2. I am hearing the news with all of you, but Danielle in Tampa knows for sure. Thank you. Thank you. Congrats to the team. God bless you and your friend and his family. I see your band of gold. Much respect, GBC. Chris is king. We got Chris back. Chris has been gone a while. Chris has been dethroned for months. He's back, baby. Oh, Christ is king. I will allow it. The typo there. I will allow it. Thank you. Option D was my thought after hearing Candace. Mine too. Does it cast more light on that important call to Erika at TPUSA where she asked what she knows? And Erika's response is, I know everything. Yes, dark. Yes, dark. It casts a lot of light on that. First thoughts of prayers are with you, your friend, and their family. Second, what if the event of the century she was referring to wasn't just his memorial, but also the event that took Charlie out? That's very dark. Oh, my goodness. Joe, I hadn't considered that. They pulled off the event of the century in Orem, Utah. That's dark. I just emailed you a picture of St. Joseph Prayer. Thank you. Appreciate that. So sorry about your friend. I'll pray for him and his family and everyone that loves him. You are so important to a great many, so I know others will pray as well. Never forget, Jesus loves you too. I don't forget that. I don't forget that. I remember. A friend passed last year, brain tumor. I missed seeing him before he went. Can't get over it. Prayers for your friend. Big angels needed in heaven. Thank you. DMSO, people and dogs. Intravenous is key. Save your friend. I will say this is for the people who are recommending things. I don't want to go into the details, the specifics, but he's very, very gravely ill. And irreversibly so. Absent a miraculous healing that could add new tissue, that's gravely. You and Candace look at it differently. She approaches it as EK always does, a switch up depending on audience, and sounds like you think she did it deliberately. I'm given the option, and I think it's a possibility. As Tucker responded to Candace sharing the July convo. I don't know. I don't talk to Tucker, and I have not talked to Candace about it. D, deliberately, deeply, deceptively, death by donor. Dang it. A lot of D's, Edge. Hey, my B, got a gifted membo. YouTube first-time commenter. Love the Jeff Arcuri impression. Christ is King indeed. Congrats on the membership. I get a lot of questions. How do I get one of those membos? I said, the Lord has to shine on you, because I don't know. They just fall out of the sky like the dewfall. May grace and healing surround your dear friend, and may a miracle find him. He's going to get the miracle of the resurrection, no matter what. Feeling like I'm on cloud nine. Baron is back in the next one. Someone pinched me, sending your friend and his family so much love during this time. Christ is King indeed. I will remind you guys, it was an Indiana Hoosier who bailed you out multiple times. OG Ananobi, the Hoosier. The Hoosier. I'm not taking credit for the championship necessarily, but OG Hoosier. Maybe Tom Crane would still be there had he started OG Ananobi at least one time. Hot trying to get the hang of this. Tucker said he's accepting interviews with small podcast. He told Mario he's expecting to be silenced. IMO, I think he feels time may be short, so he's talking to everyone. I'll reach out to him. I did not catch that. I don't have like a double back secret channel to him, so I'm sending an email to the same place everybody else will, but maybe he'll see it. I would, if he accepted, I would like cancel for the week, and if I had to fly up there and do it in person, I would do it. Ready for some great news? Tomorrow is 11 years clean. That is good news, Moon Goddess. That is great news and a great inspiration to those of us who are not at 11 years. And every day reminding ourselves one day at a time. She wrote the speech in present tense before he was taken out. That's a possibility. GoFundMe for them. Let us help from North Tennessee. I will. I'm going to ask, and I assume I'll be able to at some point. Baron EK seems is a shape-shifting chameleon to achieve goals. Pretty girls sometimes lack substance as they've always relied on looks to get ahead. Not all pretty girls, but I mean, I understand what your point is. Baron, glad you're back. I was worried about you. Pray to Saint Peregrine, patron saint of cancer and miraculous healing. There's a beautiful novena to Saint Peregrine. Brings a lot of peace. Thank you. Appreciate that. B, Mario has fewer subs than you do. Please ask him. This would be epic. I want you to interview him so much. Praying for your friend and his family. Christ is king indeed. I will reach out. I will reach out. I promise you, I will reach out. Think ceasefire just announced legit this time. Has it been legit yet? I mean, I think we desire a ceasefire. I don't know that all parties involved do. Erika should release a line of vomit bag merch. Only way I can sit through her rebrand of grief. Charlie said he wanted Erika to run TPUSA all the time and to everyone, and it was so widely known. Then why was a donor compelled to ask for an entire room of donors with the same question as if it's never been spoken of? That's a great question. It's a great question. I don't know anyone. Was that beautiful baby granddaughter waiting for you? She's out there right now. My daughter stopped by tonight. So as soon as I get off the show, I will walk out and see them. Prayers for you and your friends, sending lots of love, light, and prayers. Cancer eats away at the body of the sick and the minds and the hearts of those who watch the suffering too. Yes, it does. That's a really graphic way to put it. But I'm not saying that in a negative way at all. I'm not knocking you by saying it. I just shocked. I took my breath away reading it. It does indeed. A beautiful song for comfort is Mercy Me's I Can Only Imagine. Highly recommended listening for those grieving. I remember that song. That was popular, 20 years ago? Give or take. My husband and I claim #1 fans in Southeast New Mexico. Prayers for you. Thank you. Yes, Daisy?
I saw the ceasefire comment.
Mhm.
I didn't know if you read it, that it was just announced. It was just announced.
I saw about an hour ago.
Okay,
I
yeah.
got a notification on my phone. I looked down when it popped up.
Yeah, they did. I have it if you want me to pull it up, but if not, I was just gonna say it was.
I don't think this
I
is
feel
any
you.
more than we'll see. I hope it is. I hope there's a ceasefire in all conflict all over the world. But the U.S. might want a ceasefire. The Iranian people might want a ceasefire. I'm not sure all parties in the Middle East want a ceasefire. And to the extent one does not, they tend to own us and do whatever they want. So if they don't want a ceasefire, there won't be one. Didn't Jimmy Dore's comment on Tucker say the FBI found the rifle in a chicken coop garden on Parscale's property? Tucker burst out laughing. That was not Parscale's property. And I think Dore said it was found on Palantir's property, but that's not accurate either. There was and I don't blame Jimmy. I mean, there's so much information out there, and you'd have to really get into the details to understand the nuance of it. There was a Palantir-based LLC that had a very similar name to the LLC that owns that house, but it's not the same organization. And I think it's a common misunderstanding. Again, I'm not knocking Jimmy for the misunderstanding, but I don't think it's accurate. But I could see why Tucker would nervously laugh at hearing that. Nikki, not Nick Kim, Nicole Marie, technically. Namesake St. Nicholas, Virgin Mary. Christ is King, indeed. Not Nick Kim. Oh, Nikki Kim. I got you. I got you. Nikki M. Nikki M. There you go. Gotcha. Sorry, won't happen again. It'll probably happen again. But when it does, don't get mad at me. Don't get mad at me. I've lost all three of my best friends. So many things remind me of them. It helps to tell stories. I have so many. It helps keep their memories alive, prayers and love. I agree. Telling stories of people is good. She's a clear-cut version of Pinocchio. You saying she has a big nose? Hey, B. Way behind tonight, praying for your family as well as your friends' family. Praying God will make it a painless transition to his kingdom. Thank you. I would pray the same. Saturday was the feast of St. Anthony. Oh, was it really? Oh, no, that's the day I asked him that. Really? Oh, man. I wish I would have known. I would have told him that. I'm texting the group right now. When said his saint was St. Anthony, it was on Saturday, feast of St. Anthony. So I hear. I can't take credit for knowing that. So I had to give credit to Barry. Thank you. What a wonderful story. Danks announced he's having a baby boy. Wow, Danks. Leveling up the family. Congrats. I gotta reach out to him and tell him congrats. I haven't watched any podcasts really this week. I was watching old speeches from TPUSA, and I did watch the principal. Dr. Thomas Seyfried promotes cancer treatment that shuts down energy production unique to cancer cells. Serious researcher. Find his lectures. Boston U is a great one. Important knowledge. That is interesting. I'll look at that. Watching any of EK's performances in light of the psychopath diagnosis is scary gross. Well, not diagnosis. Speculation. We're not doctors. And even if we were, we haven't evaluated her. Praying for your friend. Flowers by Samantha Ebert. Beautiful song. Carries me through rough moments. Well, thank you for that recommendation. Pseudonym for your friend to protect from trolls. Pray for peace. And if God does a miracle, praise Jesus. So sorry, watching any love suffer, human or animal, is heart-wrenching. Why I don't buy EK Grieving. The trolls is why I don't want to mention him at this time or provide any like identifiable information. Not that I don't want you guys to pray with more specificity or be able to give to his gifts and go or whatever, but I've encountered some of the nastiest people I've ever met who've attacked those close to me, and I don't want to risk that with family, obviously. I'm more confused than ever. Troll the trolls. All I can think of is Professor Quirrell yelling "troll in the dungeon," and later is the one manipulating everything. AK is giving me the Quirrell vibes. Who's Quirrell? Gotta look this up. Professor Quirrell. Harry Potter. That's why I don't know. I believe you. I'd like to hear Tucker weigh in as well. Wouldn't we all? Ivermectin, fenbenzidole, black seed oil, still time. Has brought back many from stage 4. I don't know what's after stage 4, but that's where we are. Way after stage 4. Praying for your friend and that you will tell us where Blake Neff Speed worked before TPUSA after being fired from Tucker's show. I'll do that tomorrow. Daisy, will you remind me that? I'll do that tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow. I was going to do it Thursday, and then I didn't do the show Thursday. So I took care of my mom in hospice at home the last 9 months of her life during cancer. Dad, sis, aunt, and I were there praying the rosary the moment she took her last breath. It changed me forever. That's a beautiful story, but I'm sorry you went through that hurt. So I'll post on X. Someone pointed out that if everyone carrying Charlie the SUV had on the same shoes, I don't know if they had uniforms, including shoes for events, but it seemed odd. Similar shoes. I think they were all those white-soled shoes, but I don't think they were the same. Praying Divine Mercy Chaplet for you, dear friend, for your dear friend. My son-in-law passed a year ago from cancer. He and my daughter have 4 boys. My daughter still cannot hardly leave the house. Erika's so evil. We prayed the Divine Mercy Chaplet with our friend on Saturday. He was resting. We didn't want to wake him, but we were sitting in the room, and he was awake when we started, but then he was resting by the time we finished. But we did do the Divine Mercy Chaplet. It is a beautiful, beautiful prayer for those that have not had the pleasure of praying it. EWTN used to have a beautiful Divine Mercy Chaplet they played every day at 3 o'clock. It lasted from 3 to 3:15. I don't know if you remember it. I don't know if they still do it. Maybe they do. I listened to it for years when we had cable television at EWTN. But they had a Divine Mercy Chaplet that prayed every day at 3 o'clock. It's probably on YouTube. If you can find it, you would be blessed. I would play it, but I am trying to end quickly because I want to go out and see my daughter and granddaughter. But I'll make sure they have it. Oh, they do. They got the whole thing. Gosh, it's so pretty. It is. It looks like this. Well, I'll just go to the main thumbnail so you can see it. It looks like this. So if you want to hear a beautiful prayer in song, it's this right here. I think that's it. It's one of these. Oh, that's it. EWTN.
Oh, blood and water
No, that's not it. I will see if this is it.
of saints.
No, that's not it either. If I find it, I'll send it to you. I'll try to find it and link it somewhere. It's so beautiful. So beautiful. Welcome back, Baron. Loves and prayers for your friend and his family. Wondering if you can explain the significance of the judge issuing Lance Twiggs immunity. Does this suggest he may testify? Well, it would suggest he would almost have to testify. It also suggests he has liability, in my opinion, or culpability. Why else would he need immunity? So it wasn't a lone operation. I mean, I don't know. We'll see what he says. Babies are hers in 2026. Fair to run paternity. So there's something called putative paternity. I'm assuming Arizona has it. If you're married and your wife has a baby, you're the putative father, absent any evidence to the contrary. Glad you're back and honed in. Birds chirping has me thinking that everyone is scrambling behind the scenes. The widow is guilty. IMO in Uptalk. Widow's guilty? And IMO? Shout out to hubby Lonnie from Elgin, South Carolina. And prayers going out to your friend. His family and friends connected them. You and your wife, the wife, and your growing family included, obviously. Thank you. Thank you. Christ is King indeed. Thank you. Very kind. I'm targeted class again, slipping out for the UFC now. Just taking advantage of my tier 1 member chat to say hey and see you later, my B. Yes, you take advantage. We have to watch to see, but Erika did announce her visiting Charlie's parents next week and them being so proud of her. I believe both to be untrue. I don't know. I haven't talked to his parents. All I know is that I did a little calling around, talked to some of Charlie's friends growing up, talked to some people in the old neighborhood, schoolmates and whatever. To a person, they all said, the parents don't want to, leave the parents out of it. Don't talk to them. And I'll respect that. I mean, a child died tragically. Why am I going to bother someone that doesn't want to be bothered? Prayers to your friend. When are you going to tell us BN's job for TPSA? I will lead with that tomorrow. Daisy will hold me to that. I will leave that tomorrow. I did not feel like tonight was the night to do that show in light of everything I've been through this week. Not been through, but, I didn't think tonight was the night to do that show. My guess is that Israel is blackmailing EK, forcing her to go along with the plan because she had prior knowledge. Her family has extensive ties to our greatest ally, and it's hard to believe she didn't know. It's an opinion. Where's CK's body? Did EK Dahmer CK? Oh, gosh. No. I'm going to give her a pass on that one. I'm praying for y'all. Remember this. He will wipe every tear from their eyes. There will be no more death or mourning or crying or pain. That was a nice little pee-pop there. Sorry, guys. For the old order of things has passed away. Revelation 21:4. I'm gone, 5 days, and I forget how to use a microphone. I'm peeing right into the microphone instead of beside it. Not like riding a bike, guys. Why wasn't EK more involved with TPUSA before Charlie died if she was supposed to run it if something happened to him? That's a great question. You'd think she'd at least been around. Every time I think Erika can't be more evil, it gets much worse. She truly is a psychopath. Trump's weird response, September 12th, to a question about CK's death makes more sense to me now if he knew ahead of time. Said he was doing okay and immediately changed the topic to the big, beautiful ballroom. 41-year-old friend with devastating diagnosis called PML last November. Never heard of it. She has a 3-year-old son, also divorced last year. Pray for Teeny and your friend and his loved ones. PML. What is that? PML diagnosis. Progressive multifocal leukoencephalopathy. Encephalopathy. Severe, rapidly progressive brain disease. I'm sorry to hear that. That sounds tragic. Pray for your friend as well. Maybe the lack of response to CO's Friday shows because TP clowns learned something from how their past freakouts panned out. Freakouts came when you all got close to something damning. That's a good call. We love you, Baron, and we'll be sending prayers for your friend and his family. Thank you. Thank you. Praying for your friend, his family, and you. May God comfort and give peace to all. I've known many family and friends who've suffered with cancer. It's heartbreaking. I'm thankful for hope in Christ. It is heartbreaking. When we understand each day isn't one more day, but one less, we start being more valuable to what truly matters. Christ is king indeed. Thank you. Do you think Erika was also lying about her Catholic faith and was just using the priest as a prop? Christ is king indeed. I don't know. I will say this. I met the guy. I mean, I didn't put him under oath and depose him, but he seemed amazing, honestly. The priest. He seemed amazing. Notice she wipes her snotty nose and then wipes her eyes. I don't know any woman who would do that. She's so fake it hurts my soul. Okay. Along with Erika Kirk mail last week, yesterday I received Help Jewish Families, both asking for money from TPUSA. TPUSA sending a Help Jewish Families email? We've gone a long way from economic libertarianism, guys. We've gone a long way. I'm sorry, there's no way I'd be able to get through the speech 2 days after my husband was taken out. This is fake and gay. Praying for you and your friend's family. Also, Fuji is on sale at Costco. Everybody stop what you're doing and go to Costco right now. Thank you. Your friend, their family, and you are my prayers. Thoughts on big tech buying bunkers and leaving the U.S. Love, your biggest fan from Richmond, Virginia. Christ is king indeed. I don't know that I have much of a thought on that. It's weird. It's a weird development, but rich people are weird. Can you say hi to Christian? Hi, Christian. He's new to the investigation. I'm trying to catch him up, starting with you. Appreciate you, Baron. Christian, you got about 9 months of episodes to watch, and then you got to go and watch 9 months of Candace. Then you got to go watch Danks. You got to go watch some Bays. You got to watch Trigger Smart. You got to watch Zach Costello. You got a lot of watching to do, but you'll be good. You'll catch up. Stay put. Stay put. You could run a show where all super money goes to your friend. That way you send the money and protect his identity. I did this when I was selling via lives on social media. It was successful. He would get a much larger cut if I say to donate directly to his GiveSendGo or his GoFundMe, whichever it is. And when I get the permission from the family, I will do that. But that will take, that would remove the tax and the fee, the platform fee. So, which takes about 2/3 of it. So it would be much more valuable for him to let me get a permission from his wife when things settle down, and we'll give something where she'll get 100% of it instead of a small percent. That would be much more valuable. I already did the request to Tucker for you, Kristen. Critter. Thank you. Thank you. Erika said once he was gone, not when. Oh, that's dark language. That's dark sounding. Just learned the Lepanto battle was on October 7th. Oh. Okay. Prayers for your friend and family, Baron. Yesterday I mentioned to my daughter my plant mom shirt was missing for weeks. She said, pray to St. Anthony. I prayed aloud, and within 10 minutes, I found my shirt in my pajama drawer. It's always the last place you look. Great story. And that was yesterday. That was on the Feast of St. Anthony. Was that yesterday you said? Yesterday, yeah. Sending virtual hugs your way for your very heavy heart. My heart is very heavy. I hope I sleep well tonight. Prayers for you, your friend, his family, and all his caregivers. Thank you for being with us tonight when we all know your thoughts are elsewhere. Christ is King indeed. Philippians 4:13. Yeah. But I wanted to, gosh, this is like the best community in the world. And you guys have lifted my heart so much today that I don't know anywhere I'd rather be, honestly. Back home, I get to spend time with the community, go out there, spend time with my family. I'm a very lucky man. Divided my dad's clothes and hats today instead of making memories with him. Makes it real, so painful. I lost him to cancer and cry for him often. Ooh, it's the personal effects are tough, and there's something to that. And in the Bible, there's a scene in Acts where Peter loses his handkerchief. Right, you wipe your tears, you dry your hands, whatever, and you got this little personal cloth you carry around, and he loses it, and this woman grabs it, and she's healed by it. Like the personal effects have power. They, have power. By the way, if Blakey hasn't claimed his home state, I claim #1 South Dakota fan. Sorry, Blake. It's hard to be a bigger fan than Blake. I'm guessing Blakey Neff didn't take the opportunity to come out with the truth of his work before you do. Appreciate you and all you do. Baron. He is not. He was in South Dakota, though, this weekend, I believe. Baron finally caught alive. Congrats and blessings for baby girl and mom and family. Keep going, Max. Christ is King indeed. Thank you. We will do just that. Hey, B, been praying for you and friend. You mentioned F3. My son loves it. I asked once why he had a concrete block in his trunk. The things they do in workouts. Love from #1 fan in Buffalo County, Nebraska. We used a concrete block in the F3 weekend, the F3 workout I did this weekend. They called it a coupon. I don't know why they call it that. Like, pick up your coupon. I was like, I saw everybody pick up a concrete block, and I was like, oh, I guess I'm supposed to pick up a concrete block. I did. I picked it up. We lunged with it. We squatted with it. We walked with it. Pretty wild. Love and prayers. Thank you. Prayers to your friend and family during this hard time, Baron. Remember Tucker saying that Charlie followed Tucker back to Maine after SAS, and Charlie continued to vent about donor pressure. Apparently his wife did too. The rumor. Camera ready. Hair blow out fresh nails. Pre-record. Well, that'd be dark if that was a pre-record. That would be dark if that was a pre-record. I don't know how you'd pull that off. There's too many people around. Hey, Erika, we pay attention to things. See how much we noticed Baron's wedding ring. We're watching you. Yeah, I'm surprised anybody noticed that. I didn't realize it was such a big deal. I didn't even think about this. I feel I've cried more tears for Charlie and his children than his wife and best friends, and I didn't even watch his stuff as I'm in my late 50s, and it wasn't my interest. Boy, that's also dark. You guys drop bombs. Please, will you share your basmati rice recipe method? I like the way you said loss gets more familiar. Lost my best friend and sister in 2012. I still ache for her. Of course, you're going to always ache, but when someone passes and they're very close to you, you wake up and it's almost shocking, or you think about it during the day and it shocks you. That happens for a while, but after a while, the loss there's a familiarity to it. It's not less painful. It's just familiar. 2 to 1. So 2 cups water. Let's just do cups. 2 cups water, 1 cup basmati rice. Let it rest for a minimum of 30 minutes up to the whole day. I mean, let it soak. So not with heat. Covered so flies don't get in or whatever. And then after it's soaked for at least 30 minutes up to the whole day, turn it on high, let it start boiling, and then just cut the heat down to off and let it just sit there on that eye, or just pull it off the eye if the eye's still hot, and then put it back over. And then just let it soak for at least 30 minutes, but upwards of an hour. And you'll have perfect rice. And you'll know it's perfect because the rice kernels at the top will start to curl. And the rice will look like this on the top. You go, oh, I nailed it. I nailed it. But it needs to be at least 30 minutes, and an hour is even better. Option D makes sense why EK and CK might have been fighting before he last left. Ooh. Think she pulled the rug? Important fenbenzidol, fendam, and benzidol and other antiparasitics like ivermectin have been shown to cure cancer. Tell your friend. Again, I appreciate all the cure-alls, and I hope other people are watching this and doing their own research. I will suggest that any healing would require a miraculous non-pharmaceutical approach because of some of the consequences of what's happened. And that's all I'm going to say. Ana Escobar on X and YouTube tracked the Adelson planes flying in locations that correspond to the Google Trends locations, opens up a data point. I watched that episode. I have not had the opportunity to go back and double check it, fact check it, do my own analysis. But I did watch it, and Ana does a good job. Everyone needs to watch the Black Line podcast. Former TPUSA employee reveals. Thank you. I'm jealous of Edge. Might change my handle. Oh, because I say Edge? Well, Edge has been commenting since like the first day I went on. So the first day that people start watching. So always be true. I don't know why I do that with Edge, but I do. Erika curated her for her title has bothered me. Curated for her title has bothered me. Genesis 38:7, and her, the firstborn of Judah, was wicked in the sight of the Lord and was slain by him. Was the event really manufactured for the wicked? Prove me wrong. Christ is king indeed. There's a lot there. Everything about her bothers me. I'll agree with you. My dad was diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's mantle cell lymphoma in 2005. He was given 3 to 5 years. It's been 21 years. He's been through a lot, but still here. You're very blessed to have that extra time with him, Bree. Very blessed indeed. You'd be surprised how many times St. Anthony's come through for me. I also lose things all the time. Well, if you borrow your friend's very special rosary, put it somewhere safe. No, I'm just kidding. How does one get the ledge on the OC Center how does one get the ledge on the LOCI Center to take the shot? Would he not have to belly crawl? Military acumen, really, Tyler? Shaking my head. God is great. I don't know the mechanics. Supposedly I have video of it. Maybe one day we'll learn. When someone says we pulled off an event, it denotes bragging about getting away with something dishonest. That's a good point. We pulled it off. First one-time super chat with you since October. Lost my mom, 5:31, service yesterday. Oh my gosh, recently. Ooh. JC has us all close. Peace be with you, your sister in grief. Christ is king. R.I.P. Mama. Number 1 fan, Lincoln, Nebraska. Julie, I'm very sorry about your mom's loss. I know it was a beautiful service. I know it was. I'm glad you got to see a bit of my state. Prayers sent. Yeah, I'm eager to go back. Honestly, it's beautiful. It really is. Hot. Holy mackerel. It was 105 yesterday. And they're like, it's a dry heat. No, it's a blast furnace. And when the wind blows, it's just hotter. Normally when there's a nice breeze, it's like refreshing. Not there. It's hot. 105 is hot. It's like being in an oven. And the wind was blowing and it was like even hotter. And then when you walk across a parking lot, it's like 125. Holy mackerel, it was hot. There's no dry heat about it. I don't believe you people. Are we sure Erika didn't ghostwrite that Jezebel curse article? It's still so odd to me. Also, Jezebel was a widow too. Just saying. Maybe. I don't know. Is it possible one of those Egyptian planes belongs to or flies the Egyptian pastor EK was with in Santa Barbara instead of with CK in July? I doubt it. I doubt it very seriously. Number 1 fan in St. Amant, Louisiana. My 7-year-old heard Erika talking and said, I bet Barron thinks that is bull butter. 7-year-old sounds brilliant. Because, yes, he did. We love you. Christ is king. Indeed. Indeed. Would love a show with Candace, Ian, Nissy, and you all together. I would just watch that. I wouldn't say a word. I'd just be like, watch. I'd be in awe of all 3 of them. Gifted 5 membos. Well, watch out. They're falling down from the sky. Lost a childhood friend way too young. My dad shared John 14, 1-4 with me, and it always brings me comfort anytime I've dealt with loss of a loved one. Praying for your friend. Christ is king indeed. Thank you. Thank you. Thoughts on Teddy Roosevelt compared to DJT? I think Trump is trying hard to emulate populists getting shot, fights in the White House lawn. He wants to be Teddy so bad. I hadn't considered all that, but I agree he probably would love to be Teddy. Nobody can be Teddy. Teddy was charging up San Juan Hill with a sword on a horse. That ain't Donnie. Charlie always told her to take over TPUSA, as if indeed. I don't buy it. Option E, EK was a spy at dinner trying to solicit info from Tucker. She gains Tucker's trust by bashing ally. Tucker should consider if anything he said at dinner made its way to his Zio enemies. A true asset. That's actually a really good point. He should probably consider that. Erika's literally, not figuratively, but literally calling her husband a lying hypocrite when she says he always told her to take over. Lord, give me strength. Yes, that's correct. They all are. They're all calling him a liar. Baron with 1R, you crack me up. You don't need to look at the ceiling. They're very much alive. Did I say that? I say stuff. I just say stuff. That's true, though. I'm a small channel, been making some deep dive investigation videos on the topic. If anyone is interested, definitely not whatever. There's your channel if you want to check it out. Glad you and church visited, friend. I pray when I am sick or dying, I'm blessed like your friend. Prayers to all. Christ is King indeed. I did think of that how obviously when we don't like thinking of our own mortality. But if you got to go, man, I mean, being loved and surrounded, late. Sorry if it was discussed, but it can't be coincidental that EK and CK trip to Maine coincided with Candace's trip to Maine, in my opinion. They knew murder was coming and wanted to ensure TC spoke well of EK to CO. There's a lot of depth to that. I think Erika completely programmed since birth. She says what people tell her to say. She's not smart enough to plan all this out. Well, maybe not since birth, but, well, maybe. But I think you're right for a long time. Erika said that Charlie always told her to run Turning Point if he dies, and she was ready for it. But she was in another interview saying she was shocked to hear him say he wants her to run it. More lies. Yes. It just depends on who she's talking to and what the story needs to be at any given time. That's the way I look at her. That story has changed so many times. Not as many times as how she came to work at Turning Point. Not as many times as their first date, but it's changed. It's changed. Option F, says Lizzie. Erika's been plotting and playing her part since day one. She's evil. I'll say again, lost my husband 9 weeks ago, sat through church today and wept the whole time. Life is miserable without him. She's a pathetic fake. Well, first, I'm terribly sorry for your loss, Lizzie. We remember when you first shared that with us. Oh, gosh. But I agree with you in sentiment. I mean, I hate it. The people who hate her the worst are the widows. They have no sympathy. They should have empathy. They should have compassion. They can't even muster sympathy. I mean, they don't believe her. They don't believe her. Thank you for your generosity. Maybe you could select a show and donate proceeds on behalf of the grand jury. Keeps anonymity from your friend, but allows us to help. Love you, B. Christ is King indeed. I mean, I don't want to be too personal. Mrs. Coleman and I and the Coleman family and a lot in the community have been helping for a long time for this family. But again, if people want to help, I want them to be able to help, and they need the help. Everybody, I mean, it's a stay-at-home mom who's losing her breadwinner and her husband and their father of 4. But it would like triple the value of the donations to allow people to directly donate to her. And so I will, when the time is right. I'm not going to do this not going to ask while this is all happening. But when things settle down, it might be a week or 2 weeks, I don't know. But when things dial back, I will ask her, and we will provide an avenue if she's okay with that. And I assume she would be, but I don't know. If not, I'll open one up anonymously, and you guys just trust I'm giving them the money. I mean, not without his name in it. And then I'll just give them. Lost my, but if we run it through YouTube, it again, so much of it comes off of it's not as valuable of a gift. And I want you, if you guys want to help her, I want 100% of what you're helping her go to her. I lost my dad in 2020, and I lost a big part of myself also. Men has stigma that we can't hurt, but we truly need that stigma gone. Christ is king indeed. Keep up the great work. There, I don't know that it's a stigma as much as some men just are wired to complain a lot less. He was certainly wired not to complain at all. You can do your regular show and honor your friend and just donate all to his family. Yeah, again, I appreciate the advice. I promise you, I don't want to get into the personal aspect of it. We've donated to them, and we are going. I'm going to try to find an avenue where you guys can donate as much as you want, and they will get 100% of it. I'm not one of those that wants to say what I've done for some. I just, I'm very awkward that way. I believe the guy you forgot is Dr. Chase Hughes. That's his name. He's the guy who said that. Thank you for that. I want to give credit to the person who said that. He's absolutely the person who said that. About the guy looking in the mirror trying to mimic the psychopath. That was Chase Hughes. When he said it, I had like a cold chill run through my body because that is so unhuman. But I think that's kind of what she is. By the way, during my research, I came across the name. Is your Daisy by chance the same Daisy as the one referred to in some of Charlie's videos? No, totally different. Erika told Tucker she was anti-Israel to go along with Charlie and pretend they were a team until they were not. And she flipped and allegedly took the cash. Erika was not influential on Charlie when it came to politics. That's an option. 3 years in remission from breast cancer. I was diagnosed at 32 years old. It surely is a disease that doesn't discriminate on age. Cancer sucks. Prayers to you, your friend, and all the family. Christ is king indeed. It does suck indeed. It does do that. Maybe Charlie gave Erika a personalized ringtone when he called her with his speech, raise babies, run TV. Charlie is calling. Charlie is calling. Raise babies, run TPUSA. Charlie is calling. Charlie is calling. Raise babies, run TPUSA. I find the pushing of the necklace is to try and emphasize that it is not part of the investigation. I agree. In my opinion, God bless you and your friend and your families. It's the way I look at it. Wondering if you can make Gibson go with fake name that we know us poor folks just contribute money. Could be great amount. God bless you all. I think that would be the backup option. If she won't, I mean, I'm looking at their GoFundMe right now. And so I know it exists. And I, we know who set it up and we know they're getting it. I don't know the rules on GoFundMe if you're allowed to do it that way. I would have to look at that. But I will find a way for anyone who wants to help them to be able to help. I will find a way. John Mappin said on X about EK and CK that neither were in the Christian Zionist camp in May and June 2025. So it was not the first time EK has said those things. She was playing a role. I'll have to go look that up. That's good intel. What you said about the sociopaths watching others know how to mimic. Go and rewatch the State of the Union and look how Erika watches the grieving mother she sat next to. Correct. She was looking like, oh, what am I supposed to do? Another hospice RN here. Great work you're doing there. Requesting prayers from you and the jury for my father, heart and kidney failure, and we were just told he's not a candidate for transplant. Oh, gosh. I'm sorry to hear that. Sorry to hear that. That's just it's crushing. EK has more personalities than BB has USA tax money. Oh, it's hard to have more than that. I'm 41 with 4 kids battling breast cancer. Thank you for sharing your friend with us tonight. One day there will be no more sickness, no more death. Indeed. And we're praying for you. We're praying you beat it. You got 4 kids to raise. Blackline Brief did a segment video about EK. She spoke about CK's parents in the fake video. Would like to know your take on it. I'll look into it. I mean, I'm familiar with who that is. Didn't Erika Francevay travel to Israel to meet a Jewish husband before she met Charlie? She went to Israel to meet a husband. That was the sole purpose of the trip, if you believe her. To meet my husband. We do know his one dying wish. Remember me for my faith, not his legacy, which I guess isn't kids, but his organization. Evil Rules TP. Great community here, though. Let us know when we can help. I will do that. I promise you I will do that. We love you. Well, we love you. Thank you. Can we meet your new granddaughter, perhaps during a member show? No. No, you may not. I've shared pictures with friends and family, and but I'm not gonna put her out in public like that. She's, I would have to ask her mother first, and I still wouldn't want to do that. Again, a lot goes on behind the scenes that I don't talk about on air. And some people are really evil in the world, and in attacking me and those closest to me, and I'm not going to do that to my granddaughter. I'm going to protect her. Baron, I'm retired from hospice. Lost my husband 2 years ago. Stage 4 colon cancer. He was never sick a day in his life. I miss him every day. Golly. That's sad. I'm sorry to hear that. Know you enjoy near-death experience stories. John Burke podcast helped me through my mom and cousin's passing. Their descriptions of heaven are healing and help keep the hope. That's beautiful. I love near-death stories. Erika actually said, and I quote, now that Charlie's assassination has been completed. I'll have to look that up. I don't remember hearing that precise line. Just tried a trend search for Tyler James Robinson. Google now says your search does not have enough data. You broke Google, sir. We did. We changed Google. They changed the tool. They made it worthless. Not worthless, but not as good as it was. Don't you think marvelous Mikey McCoy's reaction was suspicious when a close friend was just shot? Wouldn't your hands go up in the air like, oh my goodness? Wouldn't you want to help? I wouldn't. I don't think I would. I've never been in that situation, but I don't think I would just turn and casually walk away. I don't think I would. Baron, you and your friend are my prayers. It's so hard to go through when you were watching from the sidelines. But my, oh my, the relief and joy he will have when he gets his eternal body of you. Indeed. Indeed. Requesting prayers for my family who lost a beautiful soul today. Pancreatic cancer is the worst. Oh my goodness. That is bad. That usually goes quick. Maybe one less worry your friend to know money came in for family. EK's face cracked when Heckler began to shout, just like when held necklace out window, and it looked as if she had response ready in her script. That I noticed that. It looked like she looked down to read what she was supposed to say. Maybe we'll cover that tomorrow as well. I haven't really covered that part. I didn't do that story when it happened. Our aunt taught us this prayer to St. Anthony. Tony, come around. Something's lost and must be found. Praying for you and your friend. You called him Tony? St. Anthony? Tony? Edge. I heard Edge likes it, so we'll leave well enough alone. That's what I heard. Edge is a fan. Baron Mario Nalfall has 309,000 subs, and he's not small. You have more than that. Ask Tucker. Critter already asked. I'll ask. I said I would ask. I'll ask. I'm an asker. I'll do my best. Another retired hospice nurse here. Truly the most rewarding part of my life. How blessed I felt with each hand I held as they crossed over. Oh, my goodness. I didn't think about that. You guys are there for a lot of it. I was just thinking more like the comfort for the families. Have you seen any in-memory mass or service? 9 most. I don't know what that means. I am local to that part of Scottsdale. You just visited and live very close to Scottsdale Airport. My prayers are with you and your friend. Christ is King indeed. I was just there. May have driven by your pad. Drove all over there. EK says, don't ask God why. Ask what's in it for me. Oh, well, she didn't say that out loud. Are you going to share where Blake worked? Yeah, I will tomorrow. Today wasn't the show. Today was too heavy of a show starting out. And I want to do that at the beginning of the show. So I will do that tomorrow. Praying for you, your family, and his family. Christ is King indeed. I want to know who provided her mascara because it's the first I've ever seen not run a drip throughout every crying moment. I'm not a makeup guy. I trust you that's weird. I'm really sorry about your friend. Prayers for his family and all the people that love him. We would love to help his family any way you can. Love you, Baron. I'm glad you got to go support him. We're going to find a way to help him. There have been a lot of people in the community. Again, I don't want to talk about what everybody individually has been doing, but there's been a way that people have been offering ongoing support here for the last year or so, really. And that is continuing in a big way now. And I'll be happy to get you guys involved. I know it will bless their family tremendously. And we will get you involved. You know what? Candace would do a much better job as CEO. Now, while I agree with that, I don't know that she would want the job. I'm a wife of a veteran, a mother of 4. What advice do you give those that are struggling to support their families? What should we be focusing on, and what can we do to keep our spirits high? Whoa, that's a big question. Now, are you saying support like materially support? Like if it's materially support, I don't really have much advice there. If you're talking about a spiritual support, I give the same advice to everyone who's struggling. Seek the sacraments, like dive in. Or I guess the Baptists, they call like ordinances. Everybody has something though, where you're participating. You're in the life of the church. You're being blessed by it. You're receiving graces. There's like, live a holy life. And I'm not saying you don't. I'm just saying, that would be my number one advice. If it's a spiritual thing, if it's monetary, that's not really my forte. Telling people about that. I'll be weaning off Effexor, and it will be hell. Needing prayers. My brother took his life in 2008, and I couldn't stop screaming for hours. Watching Erika speak is something I can't do anymore. Too triggering. I don't know what Effexor is. SNRI, antidepressant. Follow doctor's orders and wean slowly. That's my advice there. I've seen people that go too quickly, and it can be very hard on the body. So I will pray for you, Surrendered. I'll pray for you. All of us should message Tucker about Barron. Oh, well, no, I don't want him to think I'm organizing a campaign. But I would love to interview him. I would be happy to interview him. Last one, then I got to run. I've cried and mourned Charlie much more than EK. I've cried so much and still do. I'm 52, but my 30-year-old has to. Don't forget to hit that like button. That's a good reminder to hit the like button if you've liked what you've seen here today, guys. I've enjoyed it. It's good to be back. Again, I apologize for being gone Thursday and Friday, but that was frankly more important to me in the moment. As much as I love this community and much as I love being with you guys, I'm sure there are times you guys miss because you have something you deem more important. I did not want to miss the opportunity to say goodbye. And so I took that when it became apparent that it was needed. Pray for my friend, pray for his wife, pray for his children. He's got 2 very, very young children who, in my opinion, probably won't ever remember living with him just because they're that age. And that's its own kind of hard. And he's got 2 children who very much will remember, and that's a totally different kind of hard. And then obviously his wife, he's going to have this whole burden fall on her. Pray for the community around him, her friends, his friends, that we have the opportunity and can commit to helping as much as we're able, as often as we're able, and help keep his memory alive. I hope, again, when things settle down, I'm not going to message her while her husband is in this shape he's in right now. But when things settle down, I'll reach out to her and we'll find a way, if you guys are so led and want to contribute or want to help her and her children ease some of that burden. We'll find a way to make that happen. In the meantime, it is a especially important day to remember Jesus loves you. Jesus loves you. And there's nothing that compares to the grace and mercy and love of God. And I pray if you don't know that love and mercy, I pray you find it. I pray you seek it. I pray you, as one preacher once recommended to a friend of mine, fake it till you feel it. Fake it till you feel it. That's Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s advice, by the way. Fake it till you feel it. It worked for him. He said he couldn't find a belief in God, but he wanted to. So he just started living like it. And then all of a sudden he started seeing it. And I think there's something to that. The sin in your life can sometimes block your ability to commune with God. And you remove that. You live as if it's real. You remove all those known sins from your life and you struggle against them and you fight them and you get them out of there. And all of a sudden you start to see what's been blocked from you all the time. I believe that. I believe that's a thing. But thank you for joining me, guys. Thank you. I will be back tomorrow. We will talk. We'll open. Hold me to it. We will open with, and if I start on something else, you guys start commenting. Say Blake. I will open with where Blake Neff worked before he went to TPUSA, and I've learned maybe while he was working at TPUSA. I think the time may have overlapped for a period of time, if I'm not mistaken. So we'll talk about that, and we've got a good show lined up for you. It'll be fun. It'll be fun. In the meantime, I hope you have a wonderful evening, and we'll chat soon. Thank you.